The story begins inside a very ordinary room. A news broadcast is airing, the anchor is sharing some hot news. Evening news on June 6th, Suju 214. The wildlife zoo in Nin City was attacked by a python over 100 meters long. Zoology experts have yet to identify the species of the snake. A local resident recorded the monstrous snake-like creature appearing in the sky over Nin City, causing a huge sensation. On the TV screen, the anchor continues. Recently, an international fugitive escaped to Nin City. Meanwhile, a young man is slumped over a table, his arm covered in blood in the light rain. He wonders, isn't this my body? With the vision of the tiger python, he seems to realize something. Only then does he startle when he sees his brand new form in the mirror. What the hell is this? What's going on? He can't understand what's happening. Why have I turned into a tiger python rewinding time? Back to the past not long ago. His story began here. My name is Tran, so a second-year student at Nin University. Because I dislike dorm life, I rent a place off campus. He slips on sandals and strides inside. I like keeping some cold-blooded animals. Their bright colors fascinate me like scorpions. He crosses a wooden table with a cage on it. Inside is a creature, fast asleep. Today, the pet shop just received a special batch of pets. Covered in sharp spines, its sharp eyes shine like two gems. I like this six-limbed tiger python the moment I saw it. Sometimes it can break out of its cage to bite if the owner is careless. The tiger python's temperament is mild, but unexpectedly trouble happened as soon as I let it out. Once it bites, it hurts badly, even causing bleeding. He raised his phone and struck its head hard with the phone's edge, making it immediately release its bite. Back to the present, his consciousness gradually returns. He slowly opens his eyes, staring at Damshu, the kid in front of him, for a few seconds. A strange red glow radiates from the kid's body as if he's being controlled. The kid fumbles, raising his arm, exactly mimicking Transo's movements. What's going on? Can I control the body of the tiger python? This feeling is like controlling the left and right hands separately. He smirks as if he just encountered the most interesting thing ever. Could this be my golden touch? My main character identity finally can't be hidden anymore. Watching the kid accidentally flip over on the table, he feels suspicious. But what can this little snake clone do? Lisa, my snake bird. Do you have a sixth sense, or are you off to the Abalone Island to catch sea invaders to sell for money? He grabs the kid's tail and lifts it up, saying, sure enough, I'm not destined to be the main character. Someone else's golden touch is either a great rebellion or turning into a big tree that can evolve into a god of the universe. He thinks about it from every angle, but I only have a tiny snake clone. At the same time, his stomach growls loudly, pulling him back from his vain hopes. Night gradually falls and the buildings light up. Tran so casts his gaze out the window, admiring the magnificent night view. He sighs in frustration, so hungry. Turns out he's been unconscious for a whole day. I wonder what tiger python likes to eat. The mischievous kid clings to his arm. He smiles gently. If it's a carnivorous snake, it should be fine. After a while, he showcases his top-notch cooking skills, stir-frying vegetables, skillfully chopping various fresh veggies and meats. A beautifully presented dish quickly appears before the tiger python, making the kid drool with desire. Watching the kid eat heartily, he nods continuously. Sure enough, the tiger python can eat meat. Suddenly, the system notification pops up. Your clone gained 5 physical evolution points through eating, adding 0.5 to your stats. He carefully reads the line on the screen. A detailed info board appears showing the character name, Tran. So current level 0, physical stat 8.5, and mental stat 12. Possesses a mental control talent, a trait including external environment and aura perception, both at beginner level. Experience points under 1,000. Skills include Baji Quan, Ascending Cloud Leap, and Spear Kick, all at beginner level, with experience points 48, 66, and 39 out of 100 respectively. His clone is the tiger python, never evolved, current evolution points 5, 200. A bright sound rings in his head, as if his understanding has been unlocked. Tears well up in his eyes, and his father gently places a hand on his shoulder to reassure him. Remember, never waste your martial arts. Only when you grow strong enough will you see the other side of the world. Curious, he asks, Dad, how will I meet people in the future? His father places a hand on his knee and stands up. Wait until you become a sect master, but I might not be around then. He says no more, quietly leaves, walks to the door, unable to look back at his son one last time, and the door closes. Everything sinks into darkness. Returning to the present, Tran so nostalgically gazes at the painting of him and his father hanging on the wall. Unconsciously, 15 years have passed. After eating his fill, the tiger python sits, rubbing his big belly, letting out a satisfied burp. Only then does he notice how fast this kid eats. Suddenly, a glow emits from the kid, electricity running down his body to his tail. He vaguely thinks it feels longer than before. The system board continuously updates new status. Most stats remain the same except physical rises from 8.5 to 10, and evolution points increase from 5 to 200. Tran so quickly realizes the issue eating one full meal adds 15 evolution points. His eyes widen again to verify. He quickly turns to look at himself in the mirror, lifting his shirt to reveal a well-defined six-pack. His body wasn't this good before. The evolution points the tiger python gains return to his own body. He looks at the kid crawling on the table and thinks that once enough evolution points are accumulated, the first evolution can be completed. Maybe it can grow into the giant beast of my dreams. The image of a giant, majestic beast flashes through his mind. He is very confident in his final conclusion that he can also become a true martial arts sect master. Inside a bustling market, Transo is shopping from afar. The vendor totals his bill. All right, little brother, 10 pounds of boneless beef, 20 pounds of boneless lean pork, all bagged up. He asks, cash or scan? He replies, scan, then pulls out his phone to scan the payment code, placing it on the counter. After loading the goods onto the cart, he double-checks. This should be enough, right? Then he closes the trunk. The car parked in the lot starts up, ready to leave. The sky today is clear and fresh, gentle sunlight shining on the skyscrapers. A lavish meal is laid out on the table. Tran So sits down, tiredly admiring his handiwork. He looks at the tiger python with hope. Eating this much should bring me one step closer to becoming a martial arts sect master. The kid drools with desire, eyes shining like stars. In no time, the kid finishes all the food. He slumps over the table, transferring his consciousness to the creature. In the snake's taste buds, pork doesn't seem as delicious as beef. Then his consciousness returns to his own body. He slowly opens his eyes and stretches. The beef had a bit too little curry powder, need to add more next time. The kid moves to the corner of the room, ready for a good nap after a full meal, wearing stylish sunglasses. Tran so also has his own activities in the martial arts room. He is now standing in front of a punching bag, his gaze sharp. Without a word, he throws a powerful punch at the bag, instantly deforming it. A notification pops up. Through your training efforts, Bajikwan skill experience increased by 5. Seeing this, he can't help but feel quietly pleased. Physical strength improving, even training progress is much faster than before. 2 days later, he persists in training, tirelessly sweat, dotting his calm face, feeling that as long as he trains hard, his strength will improve well. Then he spins on his heel, ready to deliver another powerful strike. The punching bag, hit by his extremely strong kick, flies to the floor. System updates info character name Tran. So current level 0, physical 28, mental 16, possessing mental control talent. Traits include external environment and aura perception, both at beginner level. Experience points 10 out of 1,000. Skills include Bajikwan, Ascending Cloud Leap, and Spear Kick, all beginner level, with experience points 4866 and 39 out of 100 respectively. His clone is the Tiger Python never evolved current evolution points, 195 out of 200. This new information makes him very satisfied. Using the ancient martial arts realm as a reference, he thoughtfully predicts his strength. I'm probably at the peak of the Bright Realm now. When he was young, his father taught him that ancient martial arts realms are divided into Bright Realm, Dark Realm, and Transformation Realm. The peak of the Bright Realm is a current master able to fight 10 opponents at once. He sits with hands on a low chair, listening intently. The Dark Realm can produce top masters able to fight 100, usually only appearing in legends. His father patiently guides him through each story. The Transformation Realm can fight 1,000. Images of ancient sect masters appear Shangshen Li, Shu Wentai, Jitsun Liu Tang, and finally, Wing Chun Ip Man. His father frowns deeply, trying to recall what he knows based on ancient records. Above the Transformation Realm is the immortal god Unbreakable, only recorded in ancient books. He curiously asks, "So what realm are you at, Dad?" Suddenly his father's expression turns pensive. "I reached the Dark Realm for a short time." Later, while hesitating, he asks repeatedly with a childlike gaze, "Dad, are you really that powerful? Are you also from another world?" His father seems to awaken upon hearing those words. Another world. He exhales, big already. but he shows no annoyance, instead, smiling proudly. One more meal, and you can evolve hope. You don't disappoint me. The more he feeds the kid, the faster the evolution points rise from 196, 197, 198, up to 199 out of 200. He confidently thinks, almost time to evolve. I have to feel the changes in this kid. Soon enough, after devouring all 28 food items, the points reach 200 out of 200. A notification appears, making the kid look up curiously. The tiger python clone has met the evolution requirement, preparing to evolve. Suddenly, a strong electric current appears in front of the kid. Since the kid is basically his clone, he also feels a sharp pain in both arms. He hurriedly grabs his arm, screaming, "Oh God, it hurts, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts." While both struggle with the pain, spikes on the kid's body gradually grow longer, his body transforming painfully. His tongue stretches out, drooling onto the floor. Not stopping there to endure the bone-deep pain, the kid crashes into everything in the house. Soon, the room becomes a battlefield. Transo lies exhausted on his back. Oh man, I didn't expect evolving to hurt this much. Suddenly, something catches his attention. He struggles to stand. The tiger python's appearance has changed a lot, its eyes turning fierce. Seeing a red glow covering its body, he says, "Let me see your strength after evolving." The kid just wags its tail, smashing the punching bag to pieces, cotton stuffing spilling out. He smiles satisfied with the recent test. The tiger python has gained extraordinary strength after evolving. The new status immediately displays Transo's physical and mental stats increase from 28 to 56 and 16 to 18 points respectively. Experience points for the two traits, external environment and aura perception, also rise from 10 to 20 points. The tiger python clone's evolution resets to 0 after evolving, but the limit expands to 1,000. He excitedly points at the screen, surprised that the clone's evolution doubled the physical and trait stats of the original body. He thinks and wonders if this growth is because his current strength is too weak, so it doubles, or if each clone evolution always doubles the original's physical stats. The red aura covering Transo's body flares more intensely, accompanied by a burning will in his eyes. If this is early on, initial strength can increase quite well. If it's later, then it's a bit scary. Some time passes, he dusts off his hands in the ruined room. Using the ancient martial arts realm to evaluate, he has just entered the dark realm, activating the trait to project external aura. Thinking this, he can't help but grin. So now am I a martial arts master? He clenches his fist, unleashing all his internal power, but through training, 100 skill experience points a day is the limit. He glances at the next room where fierce sounds continuously ring out his clone tiger python, constantly showing off its new power. He continues to consider that to further improve physical strength, he can only rely on the tiger python. Suddenly, an idea pops into his mind. The tiger python can also release the original body's external aura. The clever kid shoots a glance at him, then suddenly a sound comes from outside the door. His wandering thoughts are cut off, making him pause. A man with an angry face repeatedly bangs on his door. The door opens. Transo is not happy with this uninvited guest. He asks in a low voice what's the matter. Tan Yen's eyes widen in surprise. Though vague, he can sense something terrifying about Transo. He shivers uncontrollably, cold sweat pouring down. What's wrong with this kid? He makes me feel like I could be crushed in an instant. His attitude changed immediately. He cautiously said that recently I felt the upstairs was a bit noisy, so I came up to check it out. May I ask if your house is under renovation? He finally regained composure, scratched his head. Sorry, my house isn't being renovated. I've just been training lately, didn't expect it to bother you. The smile on his face was stiff and forced. Inside, he was screaming nonstop. Who trains so violently it feels like an earthquake? He seized the chance to look inside. The scene before him left him speechless, as if a fierce battle had just taken place inside. His face went blank, mouth agape, unable to close it. Oh my god, he immediately thought of an escape route. No problem, sorry for the trouble. Maybe try quieter training next time? He didn't understand much, but waved his hand and replied kindly, No problem, sorry about that. I'll change my training method later. He stepped into the elevator with hands clasped high. Thank you. After the young man disappeared, Haibao Teach silently stared at the closed elevator door. The kid followed him all the way to the door, and the two stood there quietly for a while. Then Transo and Haibao Teach returned to the room where the chaotic scene had just occurred. He crossed his arms, looking at the kid with silent affection. Haibao Teach's clone body is too big, no longer suitable to keep inside the house. It's almost time should take Haibao Teach's clone out to the sea. A car quietly stopped on the sandy beach. He released the handbrake and said, "I'll park here temporarily." "We've arrived." Both car doors opened and out stepped him and his favorite kid. He closed his eyes, feeling the red aura gradually enveloping him. Along with that, his mind transferred into Haibao Teach's clone crawling out into the sea. He controlled the clone's body to dive underwater. In this state, his facial expressions matched the original, perfectly eyes tightly shut to better focus on opening his aura sense. Countless sea creatures appeared on the ocean floor. He easily sensed everything through the clone. His aura now covered a radius of about 10.5 meters around his body. He continued swimming elsewhere to scout around, feeling very strange that this fish had 5 eyes. Then it will be my first prey. He waited in the clone's body and executed a surprise attack on the bizarre fish. The powerful strike caused smoke to spread around the fish's watery ground debris, mixed with sea foam evaporating into water bubbles. The fish didn't understand what happened, but prioritized fleeing quickly. Transo naturally didn't let it go. Shouting loudly, he lunged with sharp teeth, biting the fish's body claws, grabbing its head tightly. What happened next is obvious. The fish officially became his meal. Notification appeared on your clone. Eating mutant fish gained 10 evolution points. Your physique increased by 1. After a while, he dived deeper. After evolving, food usually only gives 1 evolution point per full meal, but mutant fish can provide 10 points. The 5-eyed mutant fish's dorsal fin was still drifting lazily with the sea current. With such mutant creatures appearing combined with recent news, the world doesn't seem very peaceful. A hunt for mutant sea creatures began this time, targeting a 7-eyed one. None could resist him, only helplessly becoming delicious prey for the hunter. The system quickly suggested today the clone has accumulated 100 evolution points. The ocean floor at night was dark and freezing, but through Haibao Teach's clone eyes it shimmered with many colors. Transo swam to an area with large reefs where light could reach. He silently analyzed the amphibious creature, Haibao Teach. Although it can stay underwater for a long time, it has no scales, and still breathes through lungs, so it must come ashore periodically to exchange air. He swam close to a water crevice on the large reef, crawled ashore to try it out, and was very pleased with the new perfect spot. This place doesn't look bad for Haibao Teach's clone to rest here. Compared to when he arrived, the sky was darkening faster. Transo's mind returned to his original body, leaning on the car door. He sighed deeply. Whoosh! Haibao Teach's clone was arranged time to go back. He drove through a deserted road. On the right was an abandoned house with a car parked nearby. Curious, he turned his head to look for a long time. The scene made him a bit concerned someone was still there. His intuition was right. Behind the wooden door, tightly nailed with planks, came the sound of someone crying for help. Help! Transo! He stopped the car on the opposite street from the house that gave him a bad feeling. The space fell completely silent. He gripped the steering wheel tightly, his gaze dark, waiting for the right moment. Training martial arts means hiding aura, waiting for action time. The suspicious people inside the house had long noticed his presence. A bald man with black hair stood beside the door and asked, "Has that car left yet?" Ning Fu chewed on a chip and replied, "Gone." The bald man patted his shoulder. "Good then." Both approached Lam Nuok Na, who was gagged and tied with rope. The man shouted, "Be honest. You can only moan helplessly. Weren't you told to watch her at school?" The gag fell, but no one knew. He grabbed one shoulder, feigning pity. "Boss, it was so dark when we dragged her in. How could I see anything?" He noticed Nuok Na's tearful glance, gently touched her tear-streaked face, and smirked slyly. "Be honest with me, or today the brothers will all eat salty." Footsteps quietly approached outside the house. Tran. So calmly, focused, activating his... He couldn't hit if Tran. So kept dodging like that, so in panic, he tried to injure Transo's leg and threw a punch to his face. Nag Vuong Du, second level 2 horsemen on the road. He gritted his teeth as his body lost balance, realizing an unpleasant truth. Luckily, one of Transo's legs still stood firm. He struggled to regain posture, suddenly closing in to catch him off guard. This time, Transo counterattacked a single shoulder swing, sent Ning Fu flying into the air, catching the Iron Mountain. How extreme punch! He slammed his head back, scraping the floor loudly. Despite being bruised and coughing blood, he smirked as if he'd just been playing around. Interesting. He struggled to get up, rough hand thrown on the cold ground. Unexpectedly coming down the mountain, he met the true heir of Ladong 8, Extreme, the legendary Iron Mountain Hao technique. While he kept marveling, Transo's face showed only disappointment. Unfortunately, he wiped blood from his mouth and asked confusedly, "What's unfortunate?" "Tran." So slowly stepped in front of him, surprised a thug could utilize the core power of Nak Vuongdung's fierce palm strike. He frowned deeply, showing dissatisfaction. Unfortunately, Nak Vuongdung's true heir has gone astray. He had been silent, suddenly squatting down. Somehow his words touched the thug's pride. What do you know, a kid still smelling of milk? After coming down the mountain, he realized Ningfu's expression was no longer joyful. He angrily charged at Tran So while lecturing a bitter smile. His 2 fingers had already approached near Tran So's eyes. Tran So kicked hard on his chin, narrowly escaping danger. The result was the thug fell face first, eyes rolled back, clearly unconscious. The high kick also made Tran so dizzy, though victorious. He had to admit the opponent's martial arena strength was truly fierce. The oppressive feeling he gave surpassed more than a dozen strong men. He stared at his palm, recalling the surprise fight earlier. Unfortunately, controlling power over my body is still insufficient. These 3 are probably more trouble than help. Next, I must figure out how to train my power control. Now, Lam Nuot Kna was tied in a corner, having just called out a few times to catch his attention. After a while, the ropes were removed, and she immediately threw herself into Tran So's arms, crying hard. He gently comforted her. Don't be afraid, it's okay now. She firmly expressed gratitude. Thank you, thank you. Finally, they separated. He held his phone in front of her. All right, don't cry anymore. After I leave, you can call the police. But can you help me with something? He tilted his head seriously. If the police ask, can you say you didn't clearly see my face? Facing his savior, Nuoc Na naturally had no reason to refuse. She obediently nodded. Yes, I won't tell anyone. After 10 minutes, a large number of police cars had surrounded the entire area. Armed forces shouted orders for those inside not to move and to raise their hands. But they were shocked to find no criminals to restrain only the freed victim, while the others lay sprawled on the floor. Not long after, elsewhere, at the provincial Chi An Bureau, holding documents, someone entered the office. This was the person's needed documents. This place was the deputy director's office of Chi An Bureau. She slowly reported the information received. The door was damaged, clear large footprints found, and the door was kicked down, indicating force of at least 1,000 kilograms. A hand threw out a stack of photos, including those defeated by Tran So and the kidnapping victim. 2 kidnappers died on the spot. The other suffered severe brain trauma and became a vegetable. Thunder rumbled in the dark sky, lightning striking tall buildings. He looked out the window. A storm was coming. Elsewhere, Tran So's car stopped under a tree near a cliff edge. The darkness made his expression gloomy. Perhaps his mood wasn't good either. Nearby, a group was discussing nonstop. Four Eyes tried to persuade Truong Phong Tho, the boss. You just made money and spent $100 million to find Black Bald Head to buy women. Isn't that wasteful? The shirtless guy joined in. Yeah, after so long, we barely found a sunken boat and only got over $200 million. They were met with a sharp question. Narrow-minded, do you know who that woman is? With her money is as easy as you want. Hearing this, the two immediately got excited. Really, boss? He turned to face them. Four Eyes asked, Is the company business done? He confidently replied, Don't worry, boss. I've arranged the shipping company these 2 days. The office is also a high-end building as requested. He casually boasted. Also, I hired a broker to recruit a secretary and a beautiful receptionist to satisfy the client. He smiled with satisfaction at the superpower of underwater breathing. He awakened, Once we locate the boats, we can retrieve those treasures. The smile grew sinister. Then we'll have as much money as we want. Follow me to live the good life. Suddenly, a yellow light shot into the bushes nearby, startling the group, all looking in one direction. The other hand signaled the gang that the time was ripe. He turned and shouted loudly, People like you won't live long. He bounced on his heels, ready to counter. In an instant, the ground beneath him exploded, throwing everything up, including Thuong Tho. Not stopping, he punched the man's stomach again. The man's body slammed into a tree behind smoke rising thickly from the explosion. The two henchmen panicked. How is this possible? After gaining superpowers, his strength and speed doubled. Yet one punch knocked him down so easily. This is bad run. But they couldn't escape fate, suddenly hit on the neck and losing consciousness. Watching him easily handle his henchmen, the man supported his injured arm and questioned, What are you doing? He waved his hand, looking at him. His pupils suddenly turned purple, his whole body enveloped in a purple aura. I want to test my mental control ability. What's your name? What do you do? His eyes also turned purple. Under his intense gaze, the old man obediently stood up and answered Tran So's question. My name is Truong Thuong Tho. I have a big smuggling boat. A month ago, I gained the superpower to breathe underwater. He was very pleased with the other's expression. So, hello sir, hello boss. He passed the order to prepare the transfer contract. From now on, this boat belongs to the boss. A transfer contract for the Yuanyang fishing boat was presented before him. Hello boss, the contract is ready. He took it and carefully instructed Truong Hook. Tomorrow, come to the office and wait for me. Truong boss, you're injured, come with me to the hospital to check it out. The old man was now carefully bandaged and replied firmly, yes boss. On the second day, he continued his journey, diving to the seabed in his physical clone to find food. The bottle is truly a paradise with endless food. Meanwhile, his main body was also persistently training muscles in the training room. Stats kept increasing evolution points, plusly inside the shark's jaws, but the shark never expected to be bitten back. The others in the pack panicked and fled. Notification showed evolution points +10. He silently judged white shark tastes really good. Suddenly, a question appeared on the screen. Your clone has met the evolution requirement. Would you like to evolve? He crawled ashore a bit. Surprised this time he could choose freely. A red electric current ran along the clone's body, indicating evolution had begun. At the same time, the main body in the training room also felt it all. He collapsed onto the floor. Shortly after, his info was immediately updated, character name Tran. So current level 1, physical 130, spirit 38, possessing mind control talent. Traits include external environment and aura perception, both at beginner level. Experience points 280 out of 1000. All three were at intermediate level experience points 307, 290, and 390 out of 1000 respectively. His clone's name changed to Lan Gyaptich. Dick evolved twice. Evolution points reset to 0 limit, expanded to 5000 plus, close range ability with water attribute. He lay sprawled on the wooden floor, smiling after reading the stats. I've broken through. Now my physique is 13 times that of a normal person. Strength has reached the dark realm, great success in ancient martial arts. Comparing to the first evolution, physical didn't double this time, which makes sense, since last time it doubled because my base was too weak. His attention briefly caught the last line, but what is this close-range water attribute? His clone was now holding a big stone in its mouth. Wow, body size increased a lot. Bone density several times before weight over 4 to 5 tons strength. Doubled claws, comparable to steel burst power, stronger. He continued swimming at a dizzying speed. My patrol speed reached 79 km/h. This speed can surpass a large warship. While swimming sound was lower resistance, less probably the effect of close-range water attribute. Sitting relaxed on the sofa, Tran so lifted his phone to check the situation. Has anyone recently cooperated to search for treasure? The other end honestly replied, boss, none so far. He asked further, then how's our investigation of documents going? Hearing that the other side hesitated, confirming several places with sunken ships, but no Truong boss who can breathe underwater. He firmly said, don't worry, just go do it. In his mind, he gradually pictured the ocean currents on the map of the main territories of the ancient Weaving country and the Huola country. The shallow waters on the sea route have been almost fully explored. Many deep waters still have sunken ships with considerable value. 25 km offshore from Huadongnan in the Yellow Sea area, his clone continued patrolling the seabed. This time after evolution, he could breathe underwater, and sensory strength was much stronger. Within 20 km nearby, he could sense everything. After some adjustments, he was ready to act. He leaned back in his chair. Stretched, nurturing the clone is to enjoy life, isn't it? Looking at the time on his phone screen, he smiled almost 11 o'clock time to treat himself a bit. Meanwhile, on the bustling pedestrian street, suddenly a beautiful blonde girl was dozing under a streetlight pole. At night, the pedestrian street was brightly lit and crowded. Transo strolled while rubbing his belly after devouring a table of gourmet food, truly enjoying life. But one meal cost over 3,000, though his savings were only 20,000. Soon to receive Truong Boss's company, he wanted to experience the rich life once. Tran so noticed something ahead. 2 men flirting with a hot girl who had fainted on the roadside. He pointed at them and shouted, "What are you staring at 1 minute only?" He silently considered his current power. After gaining great strength, his martial heart gradually awakened. When there's no danger, he didn't hesitate to act. The 2 men angrily drew weapons, threatening, "Damn it, kid, what did you just say? Lao Tu pretends not to see you." Seeing their stubbornness, he just smirked and unleashed his external power technique. Flames around him transformed into a giant cat. His whole body trembled uncontrollably, a flash of light like a brilliant halo. The 2 men's attitude instantly changed from fierce to planning escape. "Why do I feel like a wild beast is targeting me?" Let's go. Don't let a woman look down on us. Fueled by motivation, they aggressively charged. Big brother, we have no reason to fear him. He's alone. Right, beat him. This guy's too arrogant, better knock him down first. In this situation, Tran So stood still without a word, then took a fighting stance, breaking a thumb backward at them. The next moment, he delivered a powerful, so scary a demon, truly a demon from hell. The blonde girl struggled to stand swaying all over. He frowned, guessing silently she's probably been drugged. In such situations, he naturally took out his phone to call the authorities. Hello, police, in front of the Thin Duong bar. There's a woman drunk and acting strange. She clung to his arm, waving her hands. Why did you call the police? Am I not pretty? Don't you want me to take you away? After a few minutes, the police car finally arrived. She still swayed, drunk. When the female officer helped her into the car, he sighed. I'm really tired of this. Tran! So once told them yes, I called the police. I was out late eating and saw her. He breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, this matter here is done. He used his clone to dive to the seabed again. To search should also command the moray eels to find sunken ships. The online info Trong Hook found was indeed correct. There were sunken ships here. Oh, jackpot, all gold bars. He immediately called his henchmen on the boat to give orders. Yes, Truong Hook, steer the boat 3 kilometers east, drop a sinking barrel. The henchmen immediately obeyed. Yes, boss. Truong Hook asked curiously, besides Truong Tuong To, does anyone else under Black Devil know how to breathe underwater? Truong Hook's expression suddenly darkened. Don't talk nonsense. Don't ask about the boss's secrets. On Tran So's side, he carefully placed the container full of gold he just found on the ground, quickly having people pull it up. We can start collecting now. After swimming a bit, he made a new discovery, moving closer to check. Looks like a piece of metal. The henchman reported to the boss, goods are on board, now we head back. He thought silently as he touched it. So smooth, my claws can easily tear normal metal, but this leaves no mark. This must be special metal material. He struggled to hold it with both hands, definitely a good item to take for research. Suddenly, a sea monster rushed up from below, biting tightly the lower half of Transo. He couldn't help but disdain, you dare to ambush me again. You're worthy. Though you're longer and bigger than me in terms of attack and defense strength, you're not worth a single blow. Soon after, the sea monster was reduced to bare bones. After a full meal, he left mercilessly. The taste of this spiny fish is pretty good. After a few hours, he was now at a large reef on the beach. The reef is washed by seawater, year-round extremely hard, deserted at night. Just the right time to test my strength. He raised his fist to the rock. Though the force interacts mutually, my bone density is 20 times that of a normal person plus external power, so my hand only aches a little. This slight ache was quickly healed by my body's recovery. He kept throwing more punches after evolution. During this time, my physique reached over 200. This time, he exerted more force. Countless red lightning bolts surrounded his hand. Though never measured, my fist weighs at least 3,000 kila, meaning 1.5 tons. With external power added using Baji Fist, I can easily punch through a human body. Indeed, one punch directly shattered the reef bay. The friction caused a deafening explosion. After a while, he was exhausted. The punching bags at home were insufficient, and he couldn't train at the park. Now info spreads fast. I'm afraid someone might record me and post it online. That wouldn't be good. Being a superhuman once exposed will be trouble. He raised both hands high, examining them from all angles, feeling amazed. Only on a deserted beach with no one around can I train comfortably without hesitation. He said happily, so good, this incredible recovery. I've only used less than a minute, the wound on my hand has healed. His clone had also come ashore holding a black stone in its mouth. He silently evaluated a black mineral rock, irregularly emitting metallic light but looked ordinary. He estimated its weight by hand. This metal piece weighed nearly 200 kilos heavy and very solid. The moray eel's claws also left almost no marks. Suitable for making weapons, but with my current strength, it's probably very difficult to create weapons that fit well in hand. Ignoring his thoughts, he suddenly turned his attention to the pile of gold he just found. Next, let's deal with that batch of gold first. Tran. So Thong stepped onto the boat. He asked, where's the stuff? Truong Hook was already there waiting for him. The boss is all on the boat. Everything's been cleaned in the captain's cabin. He carefully inspected the pile of gold bars on the table and wondered, how much money is in this pile? His eyes widened in surprise. In my life, I've never seen so many gold bars. He picked up one bar and quietly observed it. The gold has no inscriptions, probably cast individually, so it can't be sold as antiques. The staff at the gold shop bowed slightly to greet Transo. Hello, welcome. He slung his backpack over one shoulder and walked in. May I ask if the store buys back gold? A polite female employee replied, Yes, we offer buyback services. May I ask if you want a quick sale or a thorough appraisal? He opened his backpack, revealing countless shining gold bars inside. I want to sell this. Her expression showed a bit of overwhelm. Sir, you have way too much gold. Please follow me upstairs. I'll take you to meet our general manager. The friendly general manager shook his hand. Hello, I'm the general manager of this gold shop. May I ask your last name? How much gold do you want to sell? He honestly replied, pointing to the backpack full of gold in his hand. Last name Tran. I want to sell this. The general manager calmly explained, Mr. Tran, I need to bring someone to test the gold quality. Please wait a moment. He sat waiting on a sofa, scrolling through his phone, while others carefully examined the gold on the nearby table. After a while, the general manager announced, Mr. Tran, your total gold bars weigh 11,250 grams. Because it's not pure gold and individually cast, we buy back at 400,000 dong per gram. Do you have any concerns? He agreed immediately without hesitation. That's fine. Your account has received 4.5 billion dong. After receiving the money, he drove through the busy street. People his age are still struggling with studies, but now the profits from one expedition can earn him billions. This gave him a strong feeling of guilt. He was silent for a moment, seemingly calculating something in his mind. Finally, he made a decision. Buy a car first. This old car is too low. Driving on the bumpy coastal road is very inconvenient. At the luxury car dealership where all the fancy cars gather, Tran So and Truong Hook were present looking around. Suddenly, two others walked in two pairs of legs, one belonging to a man and the other to a woman in high heels. The staff politely greeted welcome, just in a brief moment. It seemed they recognized each other. Tran So still remembered Yen was his ex-girlfriend. Before he spent quite a bit of his savings chasing after her. She was flashy and materialistic, and after seeing something better, she sang day and night with Fu. The two young lovers pouted and said, Honey, that guy is the brown-noser who chased me before. The man next to her joined in teasing, a poor student coming here to look at cars. Truong Hook couldn't stand someone insulting his boss so blatantly. Who are you calling poor? But he was stopped by Tran So. Ignoring him, he pushed further. Why don't you just shut up? Aren't you the poor student? Can you even afford anything here? She glanced once and lost interest. Honey, ignore him. Let's look at cars. They browsed around, and Tiu Tin quickly found a shiny red convertible she liked. Honey, I like this one. He was a bit dismissive. This one? Let me check it out for you. His face darkened, biting his teeth, thinking, money is for winning over women. A guy with only a few tens of thousands for living expenses, how can he really buy a luxury car for her? On Tran So's side, he stood in front of a large white car. He seemed to have decided on this car. The trunk is high and spacious, meeting all needs. He turned to the staff. This one swiped the card. She immediately quoted the price. All right, Mr. Tran, this car totals 2.38 billion dong. Would you like to swipe the card or pay in full? He replied, definitely pay in full. She quickly noted it down. Tiu Tin overheard from afar and couldn't believe it. What? He wants to swipe the card for that car. That car costs 2.38 billion. He sneered proudly, showing off in front of her. I don't believe his card can cover 2.38 billion. She agreed. True, before he chased me, he lived on instant noodles for half a month. The couple, ignoring their own business, stepped closer to ruin others' affairs. Students are just students? He got more arrogant, but Tiu Tin, though, his ex, didn't need to act like that. No money on the card, how embarrassing. Truong Hook raised an arrogant brow. What's it to you? If he can afford it, what will you do? He pointed at Tran. So, and casually bet, if you can buy it, I'll call him bro for 3 days. If not, he calls me bro 3 times. He wasn't afraid. Tiu Tin was very confident in her thoughts, speaking as if he could really swipe the card. She continued mocking, pretending to have money when you really don't. Very quickly, Tran So's purchase was completed. The friendly staff announced, Sir, here are your keys and card. The car is yours now. Thank you. The couple's faces turned pale. He really bought it. That's 2.38 billion. Tran. So how is he so rich? Truong Hook arrogantly stepped forward, grabbing his collar and reminding him about their bet. Isn't it time for you to keep your promise? Cola boss, bro. Tran. So didn't want to linger and turned to him. Four Eyes, no need to waste words with people like this. He still clenched his fist toward them. Our boss is kind. If you're here today and don't dare call bro, let's see how I deal with you. He felt extremely embarrassed. Meanwhile, Tiu Tin just glanced back at where he had left. Not ashamed at all, she chased after Tran. So, listen to me. Listen to me. Other staff who witnessed the scene couldn't help but comment. You met a wealthy second generation, but missed out on a truly potential player, isn't that right? Regret only comes after loss. At Van Thong Tien, Ngoai, the city's best service and flavor restaurant, the huge building blocked the sunlight. As soon as the Transo group entered, a crowd was already standing respectfully to welcome them. After a while, a female staff member brought him a menu and asked, Sir, may I ask what you'd like to order? Oh, all the dishes were luxury priced: a lobster dish for 5,888, a king crab dish for 7,888. Add one more of this, he ate until his cheeks puffed up, acting knowledgeable. The high prices were justified, truly delicious. On both sides, beautiful girls provided service. Ah, the next bite, the person who wanted to eat, whereon his lips smiled brightly, still thinking about his kid who made many meals for the earthworm snake. Now it's his turn to enjoy the life of the rich. He held his phone the screen, showing a few messages in a guide group chat, reminding that school starts in a week. Everyone remember to arrive on time, don't forget. Ran Nguyen Trong and An Mang Than have received their assignments. Hesitating, the boss finally typed in the group, I almost forgot I'm still a second-year student. At that moment, the system displayed his info character name, Tran. So, current level 1, physique 327s, spirit 49, possessing the mental control talent. Traits include external environment and aura perception, both at beginner level. Experience points are 337 and 341 out of 1,000 respectively. Skills include Baji Fist, Ascending Cloud Leap, and Spear Kick, all at intermediate level. Experience points are 429, 389, and 376 out of 1,000 respectively. His clone is Lan Gyap Tich Tich. He has evolved twice. Current evolution points, 2, 160 out of 5,000ers, plus close range water attribute ability. He lay back on the sofa, slowly planning for the future. After enrollment, his time will be less, so he must quickly earn more money to help his little earthworm snake break through the Yin realm. Tran So continued using his clone for deep-sea patrol missions. Swordfish are the fastest swimmers, max speed 60 knots, equivalent to 90 km/h, but my current speed is faster. After biting it to death, he devoured the meat until only the bare skeleton remained. Truly a delicacy. After eating, it's time to continue searching for treasures. At the same time, evolution points increased by 10. He aimed at the next target, his aura spreading out, able to sense things tens of kilometers away. He crossed a reef, but unfortunately, even after probing the seabed, no sunken ships were found. After several days with no gains, he swam while keeping an eye on his surroundings. The world is starting to mutate. Not sure if the government secretly has some extraordinary organization. In general, after gaining supernatural powers, I act more cautiously. At some skyscraper, following right behind Tran, so was Truong Hook. Today he wore a sleek black suit, expression very serious. Since Trong Thuong Tho's company was transferred, I haven't even visited yet. This place is the most glamorous in the city. Truong Thuong Tho invested heavily in decorating the company. Inside Hai Niep Thien Lam Company, the polite receptionist greeted Truong's two assistants. They have arrived. Trong Hook turned to instruct Tu Nin to bring everyone to the boss's office. She obediently agreed. Yes, sir. In the boss's office, he solemnly introduced, This is our company's boss, Tran. So, Mr. Tran, the female employees lined up in front of him and politely greeted the boss in unison. They showed great admiration, realizing he was the young, handsome, and wealthy boss. He pointed to an energetic, orange-haired girl. This boss is Ning Ngaihan. She enthusiastically greeted the boss. At that moment, Tulan Nguyet carefully brought a cup of coffee on a tray to greet the boss. Here is your coffee, sir. He quickly revealed her identity. She is Mr. Tulan Nguyet's secretary. He simply replied, leave the coffee here. He silently assessed that, although it's a packaging company, it's fairly complete. Maintaining the company costs over 10 million per month. Looks like I need to find more sunken ship treasures. He turned to give instructions to Trong Hook. End the meeting here. Tell everyone to get to work. You go back to the boat to keep watch first. He immediately obeyed. Yes, boss. In his mind, he kept calculating mental control efficiency stable. But hypnosis in the subconscious doesn't mean there are absolutely no problems. They still must avoid too much contact with external things. Looking out the window was a luxurious view only seen from above. Notifications kept popping up. Your physique increased by 0.7. Your physique increased by 0.7. His mind wandered that feeling of the clone, hunting, and getting stronger, just by lying still. He raised the coffee cup, took a sip, and smiled softly, feeling great. His clone under the sea seemed to be encountering some kind of fish. He threw a powerful punch at its blood-soaked body, defeated it, then carried it with both hands. Is this a mackerel? But mackerels are about 2 meters. This fish was 4 to 5 meters long, incredibly fast with iron-hard teeth. If not for my strong external aura, I'd probably have been injured by it. Seeing more and more fierce mutated fish at the seabed, he bit into its corpse. This meat is clearly different, can provide more energy. Notification instantly sent to the main body. Your clone underwent a devouring effort, gained 90 evolution points. Your physique increased by 9. He didn't hesitate to use internal energy. Something's wrong, that fish definitely had a problem. Now I feel my muscles and bones are strengthened, increased tenfold from before. After a full meal, he swam off to look for another prey. Unfortunately, in such a vast sea, there seemed to be only one mutated fish. At the Hainyep Tianlam office, Xiaoning was chatting with the sisters. Sister Lan Henguyet, do you know if our boss has a girlfriend? Lan Henguyet teasingly asked back, why are you trying to steal the boss's power? Another black-haired girl nearby joined in teasing. Xiaoning is daydreaming again. Suddenly, a voice called out from afar. You guys still haven't finished work. Lan Nguyet hurriedly stepped forward to greet him formally. Hello, boss. We still have some unfinished tasks. But the girls never expected he had heard everything. With his hearing, he already knew their whispers while in the elevator. To avoid awkwardness, he pretended not to know. He smiled gently and proposed, if everyone works this hard, I'll treat you all to dinner tonight. But Tunin immediately brightened. Really, Lan Huyet was equally enthusiastic. Thank you, boss. At Van Thuong, Tien Ngoai staff arrived to welcome him. Sir, would you like to order now? The girls kept admiring inwardly. The boss's car is a luxury, over 200 million, so impressive, the decorations are so lavish. The staff totaled the bill for today's meal. Sir, the total is 499.9999. Yuans. He calmly took out a gold-plated card and simply said, swipe the card. Tunin's eyes turned into hearts. Is the boss a second-generation rich so extravagant? Lan Nunguyet couldn't help but exclaim, the boss spends money like sand. The other girl was amazed looking at the delicious food. Following the boss like this definitely means a bright future. Tran so turned to inform the girls, tonight I have some business to handle. After eating, I'll call a car to take you home. They shyly expressed gratitude. Thank you, boss. It turned out the business he needed to handle was daily training. The sea breeze was so comfortable it relaxed the mind. Late at night on the reef with no one around his face showed satisfaction after smashing solid rocks. During this time, I never gave up physical training now, over 20 times stronger than normal people, and my punching power exceeds 2 tons. Under the influence of the environment, my strength doubled. Now the power of my punch is nearly 5 tons. Only through constant training can I get used to my strength. He suddenly paused, exhausted, unable to push the table down with enough force, and sank back down. Then suddenly a boat appeared from afar, docking at the shore. He wondered aloud, is there really someone coming to such a remote place this dark? On that boat, the people aboard were discussing matters with those standing on the shore. We've traded many times like this, and you still don't trust me. The big boss has been checking strictly lately. Trade by the old rules, one hand gives money the traced. From a tree branch, Tran so took a running start and jumped down. In one strike, Tran so took down 2 of them at once. Nearby, a blonde guy quickly pulled out a gun to shoot him, but the main character was 1 step faster. He immediately ducked low to dodge, then threw an uppercut punch that sent the blonde guy flying into the air. Just like that, within seconds, these bad guys were defeated swiftly and cleanly. Glancing quietly around, Tran so thought to himself, these people have long lost their humanity. This is basically protecting the people by removing harm. Elsewhere, Transo's clone was quickly chasing after the ship that had just left. The lizard clone rammed its head hard into the ship's hull, breaking the ship in 2. The bad guys on board were thrown scattering in all directions. What's going on? Someone shouted before the whole group fell straight into the sea. Quickly they saw the lizard clones swimming around them, terrifying them so much they almost peed their pants. Everyone started panicking, heading toward the nearest island. Monster. There's a monster. Help, help, run fast. A young man was thrown into the air screaming, Big boss, save me, save me. The one he called could only grit his teeth helplessly at the situation. He angrily loaded his pistol. You can't run anymore anyway, so I'll take a chance. I don't believe you can stop my bullet. A gunshot rang out. The bullet aimed straight at the monster's temple, but its skin was like steel, unaffected. He couldn't believe it. His face darkened, his body trembling. How could this be? The monster roared, the water surface rippled, then the sea calmed again. The monster held a suitcase in its mouth, gliding past countless floating bodies. After a while, in Transo's room, a suitcase full of money was placed on the bed. Tran So thoughtfully looked at the money in front of him, 103 million in stacks, which was 300 bundles of cash laid out, and the number in the bank card gave a very strange feeling. The next afternoon, in a coffee hall, a red-haired woman with a high bun and a seductive figure holding a stack of documents approached Tran. So, behind her were countless male eyes looking up at the beautiful woman, feeling her noble and cold aura. The woman placed the documents on the table, tucked her hair behind her ear, and said, "Boss, please sign here." The men who had glanced at her earlier were now stunned. She was their boss, and she looked so young to be the boss. Tran So coldly replied, "Let's go back to the company to call a meeting." His aura made the other men look up in respect. This young man was like a towering mountain. His presence was truly intimidating. Inside the meeting room, meticulously prepared down to every detail, Tran So stood before a large board displaying clear charts and said, "You all are the company's pillars. As long as the company's profits keep rising at the end of the year, everyone will get a big red envelope." Tran So pulled out a phone, playing a classmate's voice. "School registration day is the last day, and you're the only one left in the class." He picked up the phone and said, "Oh, sorry, I'm coming right now." Then he left the meeting. Lan Nguyet handed him his jacket and said, "I have to go to school to register now. Nothing's going on today, so everyone can leave early. Also, while I'm not here." The female employees admired their boss, who was still a student, impressed by his calm aura. "I thought he was just a wealthy second generation with good family education at Nin University." Tran So got out of the car amid many whispers. "Oh my god, that's Tran, so he's a wealthy second generation." He took off his sunglasses, but the chatter around him didn't stop. "Is that car worth over 2 million? What that car costs over 2 million. The Nin University forum was flooded with information about Tran So. Announcement for the last day of enrollment. Students coming to register, everyone amazed. The new student is tall, handsome, rich, with a car worth over 2 million. Below was a secretly recorded video of Tran So, with over 700 shares and more than 2,800 comments. "Is that Tran So? He's so handsome this summer." Another comment, "Handsome, and importantly not driving a car over 2 million, a family asset, surely worth over 1 billion. A blonde girl sitting in front of a laptop looked very familiar. She stared at Tran So's face, especially his eyes, the clear black and white like sparkling stars shining sharply. A comment below showed he's not a freshman, but a second-year finance student in our department. Yeah, starting this semester, he's a junior. His name is Tran, so didn't expect him to provide that info to me. Tran, go. So put his hands in his pockets, looking thoughtful. My physique and strength are increasing fast, but I only know Baji Kwan Tang Van Tang and Dam Kwok. I need to learn some new skills to better manage and use my current strength." He recalled when he was at the Kondo Village dojo, acting like that one slap from me could smash him. To control my strength, I still have to train myself more. At the steel company, Tran So told the staff, "I want to order a batch of steel, estimated over 100 tons. The staff happily replied, "Yes, sir. Please come to the VIP room. I'll contact the sales director for you." The VIP room door closed. The sales director smiled brightly and shook hands with Tran. So, "Hello, sir. What kind of steel would you like to order?" He replied, "A steel bundle, 2 meter wide, 5 meter long, plus several iron plates weighing 1 ton, 5 tons, 10 tons, and 20 tons." The sales director turned the laptop screen toward Tran. So, "Hello, sir. According to your needs, the total weight is about 200 tons. Estimated price over 700,000. The final price depends on the finished product." Tran So smiled satisfied. "Is that okay? The main thing is to sign the contract." On Monday morning at Jeonso Port in Truong Thuong, To, the boss of this area, owned all the warehouses belonging to Tran So. Looking at countless boxes in his warehouse, he said, "Truong To, you go back first. I'll take a walk around here myself." Tran So stood, straight hands in pockets, a faint pink glow radiating from his body. The system announced, "Your clone has earned 8 physical evolution points through effort, adding 0.8 to you." He thought silently. Ming Realm. Dark Realm, Transformation Realm, Upper Transformation Realm. Now, I haven't even reached the Transformation Realm yet. My path is still very long. Tran. So reached forward and placed a steel pillar in the warehouse. This is my training place. He looked up, thinking about the future. At most 100 evolution points per day, and the next evolution requires waiting a month. Compared to the progress of the mole snake, my body's progress is still too slow. At the crime scene, many police officers were investigating. The intelligence officer reported Lahao, who claims to be the boss, owns an entertainment bar. More than a dozen of his right-hand men were cut by a blunt object with extreme force bones, broken barely held together. The officer continued. Victim Tiet Lao. That's chest suffered heavy impact. Internal organs shattered, died on the spot. 3 people all died within a minute, killed by the same person. Incredible strength, quick action. Who on earth could do this? Kwangjok's radio crackled with the captain's voice. A new body was found at Tien Lam Marine Company. Transo lay back in the master chair, listening to the report. The company boss doesn't do much daily. The staff are all playing around. Shouldn't we hand out some flyers or something? He bluntly replied, no need, business is like fishing, just wait for someone to bite the bait. Lan Nguyet was worried hearing this. Even though the boss is a wealthy second generation doing research like this, will he really not go bankrupt? Someone biting the bait voluntarily. But if you don't promote, how would anyone willingly bring money? Outside a call startled her. Ni Hin, the boss has someone looking for you saying they want to discuss a business deal. She was very surprised. Is there really someone actively offering money? A man and a woman entered the room. The man looked around without greeting and arrogantly asked, Where's Truong boss? Transo replied, he and some of his men have already submitted to me. The man adjusted his suit and introduced himself. Impressive to have won over. Truong boss, I'm Vuong Tien Ho A. Transo smiled and responded, So you're boss Vuong. Let's sit down and talk slowly. Lan Nguyet bowed her head. Boss, I'll go make 2 cups of tea for you both. Go ahead. Tien Hoa settled into his chair. Brother, I have a ship that sank hundreds of years ago worth at least over $1 billion. Really? Can you do it? Tran. So didn't answer, but instead asked, After the shipment reaches Boss Vuong, how do you plan to split it? Tien Hoa leaned back in his chair. At first, I take 7, and the third brother from the international team only gets this much. Tran. So quickly refused. Then go find the international team. He paused. So how do you suggest splitting it? Oh, Tran. So smiled and held up 5 fingers. At least 5 years. If you don't agree, then forget it. Tien Hoa reluctantly agreed. Now that the law is complete, you can't just take it yourself. You have to rely on him. Then he stood up angrily, still half doubting before leaving. Are you sure you can deliver it to me? Tran. So smiled smugly. I have plenty of people like Boss Truong under me. If Uncle Vuong doesn't believe me, he can come and see. Hearing this, he felt reassured, and they happily shook hands to cooperate. 5 years, it is smooth cooperation. He replied, Smooth cooperation. Kwangjuk slammed his hand on the desk in frustration. Such terrible claw marks, but what creature could have claws that big? He didn't believe his own deduction. Maybe it was an abnormal creature. The deputy sat silently in front of the laptop screen. The confidential report on the multiple deaths he was investigating had to be attached with classified documents. Transo observed the construction unit with Lan Nguyet standing nearby curiously. The boss asked what such a large iron pillar was used for. He explained the sea shock pillar at the port can resist whatever the Sea Dragon King tries to pile up, but apparently there's nothing here. The radio crackled with his voice. Depth 800 meter, nothing within 200 meter around. Tien Hoa laughed. Already checked that fast. Such high efficiency. He looked down at the calm water. Just over 20 minutes later, 700 meter, 800 meters, all checked. How is that possible? Vuong Tien Hoa's men reported to the boss. After sinking for hundreds of years, the spot with changes is roughly 1,000 pan it tetra east. He spoke into the radio. Sorry, brother, check 1 da east. The sonar continued swimming toward the designated spot. Just underwater, his body emitted an aura, as if sensing something. His eyes lit up, quietly happy inside. Got it. The crane lifted it up and brought it over. Come on, almost there. The artifact was recovered. His men reported to the boss. 8 pieces broken, 3 intact, estimated at 30 million, with private deals possibly adding 20 million. Tien Hoa smiled satisfied. Did you hear that, brother? That's roughly the situation. You handle the other stuff. I just take the money. A few days later, Vuong Tien Hoa saw the suitcases of money and was very happy. Total sold for 23 million, each person gets 11.5 million. You come, Tran. So smiled coldly. No need, I trust you. Tien Hoa laughed even louder. Haha, brother, you're reasonable. Next time there's info on a sunken ship, I'll contact you again. Tran. So looked at the money in his hand, thinking. The money problem is solved, but my strength is still too weak. At least I have to train until bullets and grenades don't affect me. Only then can I try some bolder things. On the second day at Tien Lam Marine Company, Thieu, he handed the boss a file report. Yesterday, someone sent a CV. He asked for a 50,000 monthly salary and guaranteed to catch 200 customers a month. Tran. So replied, let me see. Nihin saw the boss and smiled warmly. Boss, you're back. He held the CV, which showed membership in the Fishing Association and many contacts in the circle. So decisively crumpled the CV and pushed it away, calling him a fraud. Next to him, Nihin kept smiling and said, Boss, why haven't you been to the company these days? But he coldly replied, I got a big order a few days ago, casually making a few 100,000. Nihin's eyes sparkled. Oh, boss, you're amazing. He smiled. Didn't I say before that after finishing this order, I'd treat you all to a meal? Today I'll take you to Van Thuong, Thien Ngoai, to relax. Nihin was delighted. Boss is so handsome. Xiaohe quietly observed. This job is really good, light work with high pay. The boss even often invites us to meals, unlike that friend of mine at the company. The director even wants to set some unspoken rules for her. But Xiaohe blushed shyly and chuckled. If the boss wants unspoken rules, should I follow or not? Dinner at Van Thuong Tien Ngoai with a table full of delicacies in front. Nihin propped a chin and said, Boss, I didn't expect fishing at sea could make money like this. Xiaohu added, the whole fleet went fishing for just a few days and made millions. Transo replied with a toast, lucky to catch a bluefin tuna worth several 100,000. While everyone was chatting happily, another person appeared and interrupted. Excuse me, are you Boss Tran from Tien Lam Hai Niep? The man introduced himself. Hello, I am Li Tien Hui, Vice President of Tien Hong Group, and also a friend of Vuong Tien Hoa. Tran. So politely responded. Hello, Le Tien Hui, interested in cooperation. Mr. Tran, I want to go fishing at sea. Would you like to cooperate? He leaned back in his chair. As long as I make money, I'm interested. Come to my company tomorrow to talk. Lan Nuyet handed Tien Hui a business card. Director Li, here's our boss's card. Li Tien Hui took it. All right, Mr. Tran, see you tomorrow. Thieu. He watched him leave and sighed. I didn't expect this guy to be so young. Nihin curiously asked, Sister Thieu, he is this group very big? She nodded. Their chairman has assets worth tens of billions. Richer than the richest person in the city, Thieu. He continued explaining he shares the same surname as Tien Hong's chairman, so he's likely one of his descendants. Nihin marveled, oh, worth 10 billion. Lan Nguyet also exclaimed, wow, I actually met the son of the richest man. While having dinner, Tran. So chuckled silently. Even the son of the richest man is interested in a shipwreck case. Beneath the dark sea, Hai-Bao Teek was holding a big fish tightly in his mouth and clutching another fish in his hands. What a coincidence, I just talked to Thieu Ninh about a fish worth over 1 billion, and now I've caught even more, 2 of them. It was late at night, the bright moon hung in the sky like a small lamp, moonlight shining down on the coastal warehouse roof. The tuna lay on a bed of ice, worth over 1 billion, but its meat was just ordinary. Tran. So stood with crossed arms looking at the chilled fish box in front of him. Beside him was his clone. This isn't fish, this is clearly money. Next, the only issue was to find someone to buy it. On the second day, he continued training, holding 2 large dumbbells in his hands. Outside came a call. Boss Young Master Li has been waiting for you at the company for a long time. Oh, I'll be there right away. A gold-plated car stopped in front of Tien Lam Maritime Company. Li Tien Hui took the initiative. Boss Tran, I have the exact location of the sunken ship. Tran. So leaned back in his chair with crossed arms. With the wealth of Tien Hong Group. Young master, Li is interested in the shipwreck too. He shrugged and replied, money who wouldn't want to make it. Tran. So propped his chin. Then after the goods arrive, we split 55-10. Tianhui smiled satisfied. No problem. Tran So quietly observed him. From his demeanor, it was clear he wasn't just after some treasures on the ship. Something was off, but outwardly, he acted as if nothing was unusual. By the way, Mr. Li, do you know anyone who runs a high-end seafood restaurant? He picked up his phone jokingly. Actually, I have a seafood restaurant here. Let's have lunch and I'll introduce you around. At the warehouse, Tran So frankly told the manager, Lamb, don't worry that fish won't get away. The staff sitting next to the chilled fish evaluated. Boss, the quality of the fish is perfect. All aspects rated A. Manager Lamb smiled satisfied. Your fish is in prime condition. We're all friends here. What do you think about a price of 700 million per fish? Do, Tran. So immediately agreed. All right, that price works. Lan Guyet looked at her boss, smiling as he negotiated and marveled. One fish can be sold for a staggering 700,000 Thusen dong. Oh my god. The sky was clear blue, white clouds drifting slowly over the top of the Van Hao International Building. Tran So turned to call Lan Nguyen behind him. We had a great haul today, so let's spend a little here. She was still wide-eyed and speechless. Van Hao International, the gathering place of all top luxury goods. Tran So shopped with big and small bags, flashing his black card, making the staff secretly delighted. Then Lan Nguyen stared in awe at the place considered luxurious and wasteful. Her boss was making money way too easily. The two returned to the port warehouse. Lan Nguyen wore a peach-colored formal dress, her hair styled differently than usual. She looked at her boss with admiration. Oh my god, one of his watches costs more than 200 million dong, and he bought me many other luxury items too. Probably over 200 million as well. Tran So put down the big and small bags and ordered, Lan Nguyen, I want to buy a villa. Help me keep an eye on that. It has to be big and spacious. The location can be a bit off, because I like quiet places, price around 3 billion. Lan Nguyen nodded. Got it. Under the sea, 2 submarines were passing by. Above Hai Bao Teak watched the 2 submarines go by unwillingly. Unfortunately, his strength wasn't enough, otherwise he would have torn those 2 submarines apart. Hai Bao Teak dove deeper and discovered something. He cautiously said, there seems to be something bad over there, let's go check it out first. A giant crab swam over. Hai Bao Teak angrily said, is it that easy to provoke me? The crab swung its claw, but he dodged. Hai Bao Teak gritted his teeth looking at the creature. It was much stronger than that mutant fish. Loud explosions shook the seabed. Hai Bao Teak skillfully swam around the blasts. The power this monster unleashed was over 10 tons. Interesting. He attacked it, causing a huge collision. Hai Bao Teak was now above the giant crab. This guy can't be eaten all at once. I have to absorb it slowly. Tran So sat on the sofa opening his laptop, checking strange events at sea in recent years. He read each piece of information. Giant anglerfish, giant hammerhead shark, and now a giant crab. This world is changing terrifyingly. Then other information appeared. China's nuclear submarine 698 went missing at 600 meters depth in the Pacific Ocean. Last message said it was attacked by an unknown giant creature. Location of submarine from country E in the Arctic Ocean hit an underwater iceberg, killing all 127 people on board. After reading for a while, Tran So concluded all happened in the past 2 years, and it seemed the deeper the water, the stronger these unknown monsters became. Back to Hai Bao Teak. System notifications kept popping up as he absorbed mutation evolution value, plus 290, physique, plus 29. Evolution value, plus 280 physique, plus 28. Whispering while savoring his body size had grown to 18 meters already. He continued training in his gym. So his physique had improved over 100 times. Now his bone and muscle strength had reached a whole new level. Even hitting an iron pillar no longer hurt. Then he raised his hand to observe, thinking silently, even a pistol can only scratch my skin. Moreover, based on the environment and my reaction speed, normal bullets can't hit me. Scene shifts elsewhere. Tran So was in the Xinhua bookstore. He held a book, looking at various books ahead. This world is not as simple as I thought. He's handsome, so he attracts girls. Those girls sitting far away were staring in fascination. Hua said, look so handsome, you should go ask for his number. I don't dare. He mainly read martial arts books like Xingyi Quan Baji Quan, constantly learning. Only like this can I keep improving. Tran So returned to the warehouse diligently practicing boxing. Each punch was very strong. Baji Quan and Xing Yi Quan looked simple, but truly mastering them was challenging. Suddenly the phone rang. Caller was Li Tian Huye. Tran. So answered, the voice said, "Boss." "Tran, we've arrived." He wiped sweat and replied, "Okay, send me the location. My people will be there in half a day." Half a day later, Transo, in his Langyap teak form, was diving to find gold. Boss Li had found gold and some ceramic fragments. Thien Hue excitedly asked, "Boss Tran, did you see any special box?" He eagerly said, "As long as we find the box, we can give you everything else on the ship." Tran. So replied, "Okay, I'll ask." Having found what he needed, he carried the gold chest back. This pile of gold could be exchanged for over 2 billion already. What about that special box, Tran? So in Tish form said puzzled, just a pile of black mud, no idea what he wanted. The wooden box opened to reveal only a pile of black mud. Thien Hue held his head panicked and lamented, "How is this possible? My elixirs, scene shifts elsewhere." This place seemed to be a crime scene. Guang Yuk and his team were sent to investigate. Like previous victims, all blood had vanished, muscles withered like dried out, but time of death was only 10 hours ago. He looked at the situation and said, "Let the higher-ups come down to investigate." Guang Yuk frowned, thinking, the dead were all thugs, no relatives but physically strong. He turned to his subordinate Tu Trung and said, "Write a report later. Close all entertainment venues in the city." Tu Trung obeyed. Yes. Time passed to midnight. Another incident occurred. An unknown girl was sucking blood from Guang Yuk. Gritting his teeth in confusion, he shouted, "What?" Clearly everything had stopped. So how did 4 more people die? Meanwhile, Tran So continued his boxing practice. After a few days of training, both my Baji Quan and Xing Yi Quan had significant breakthroughs. Suddenly, the system showed a notification. "You have mastered a new boxing style, name it." He read the notification and decided on a name, then I'll call it Ice Fist. It's a combination of Baji Quan with Baji stance and Xing Yi Quan with half-step Ice Fist. Each step is a powerful punch force, like a heavy cannon. Scene shifts to a small boat speeding on the sea. The boat driver's voice rang out. "Oh, after chasing the fish for so long, finally caught them. But still have to be careful. This time, the investment is huge. A fishing net costs millions, can't afford mistakes." Suddenly, the ship's alarm rang. People on board panicked. "Boss, there's a hole in the middle of the net. The fish are escaping." Stupid, pull the net back immediately. The detector clearly found nothing, but the net couldn't be pulled up. Very frustrating. Boss down in the sea was the clone Teak, enjoying a pile of fish like spoils, catching dozens at once. Food just comes to the door, so comfortable. With water attribute compatibility, sonar devices couldn't detect him at all. "I'm full, let's head home." The captain saw the torn net, held his head, crying, "What on earth? My net is torn, all the fish escaped. What kind of monster or deity is behind this?" Back to Tran. So he was relaxed, sitting in the sun, enjoying the view at the port. On the other end, Li Tian Hue called, "Boss Tran, I'm back in the city. To show my thanks tonight, I'll take you to a wonderful place." Tran so happily agreed. "Young Master Li invited, of course I have to check it out." Night fell outside Monglain Hekat. "Welcome, Young Master Li, Young Master Tran Thien Hue. Very familiar here." Jib Van Tio happily slipped outside. At this speed, even Bao Thach Kich can't keep up. How could that freak keep up so closely? Seems like this freak's power isn't weak at all. Tran so sped out to see on the shore a man and a car. "Let's go, I'm not a bad guy." Suddenly, Amtio appeared from behind a tree. "Brother, interesting story. I was just bathing on the beach and my clothes got taken. Can you give me some clothes?" Tran so didn't hesitate and rushed straight at her. "Want clothes? I'll get them for you right now." Without mercy, not sparing her, Tran so punched her directly. He was shocked, eyes wide, as a big smoke cloud enveloped Amtio. Appearing neither human nor monster, she stuck out her tongue. "My blood is too hot. I really want to eat you." Tran so quickly stepped back. "What is she?" She replied, "I'm human too, just a more perfect one. My name is Amtio." Amtio stuck out her tongue and eagerly lunged at him. "Eating you is like eating hundreds of people with strong blood. This is enough for me to complete the first evolution stage." She launched an attack at Transo. He nimbly dodged. Transo dashed behind Amtio, missed her punch. "Want to eat me? Let's see if you're capable." She couldn't react in time. He was too fast. Boom, a big explosion. He landed a full punch on Amtio. She lay motionless on the ground, unable to move. How is this possible? How? You clearly don't have the aura of an awakened person. Transo punched a tree, causing it to fall, but Amtio merged into another tree. Unfortunately, he threw another punch, knocking her out onto the ground. His expression serious. New analysis. She can merge with trees and rocks, but every time I hit her clone, her aura weakens a bit under the dark sky. He looked at the weakened Amtio and bent down, commenting, merging with dry trees, that's a good life-saving skill. But too bad you met me. Answer my questions, and I'll give you a merciful death. Though badly injured, she calmly said, look at me. Am I afraid to die? Huh? You're so handsome, too bad I'll never see you again. It's okay, I've had my revenge. She looked up regretfully. If I had one more month, I could complete my shadow transformation. Then even the god of war wouldn't scare me. Under the full moon, Tran. So watched as Amtio gradually faded away, sighing. But unfortunately, in such an ordinary city, I met a monster like you. System appeared. You eliminated a pollutant and earned 10 attribute points. He asked, what are pollutant attribute points? He propped his chin, seeing the explanation. Attribute points can improve skills and enhance weapons. Attribute points can enhance yourself and grant special powers like lightning, ice, fire, etc. He wondered, with extraordinary power, could Haibao Teak become one too? Tran. So, happily concluded, imagine becoming the real version of Godzilla, a giant fire-breathing Godzilla at the warehouse with a car parked nearby. He focused on reading news about pollutants and awakened people on his laptop. Seeing the screen showed no related info, he sighed in relief. Looks like the government blocked this info. That's good. I'm still too weak now. I'll deal with that world when I'm stronger. He muttered comfortably. If my physique breaks through to 10,000, system appeared. Please choose an elemental attribute to enhance fire, water, earth, lightning, light, darkness. You stepped on the screen and immediately shook your hand to enhance the lightning element. Notification appeared. You used attribute points to enhance extraordinary power, gained level 1 mental lightning control. He leaned back, watching sparks between his fingers, thinking, Dich form has lightning power. Alright, I accept. Lightning control also has experience notes. Seems it can be improved through training. Not bad. Detailed info appeared. Character name, Tran. So level 1, physique over 465, spirit over 57. Can control mental skills, including basic external environment. Experience points, 570 out of 1000. Basic aura experience points, 480 out of 1000. Possesses basic level, Bakakuen. Skills experience value at 26 out of 500. Intermediate level, Thungvantang, experience points at 517 out of 1000. Intermediate level Jamkuok, experience points at 412 out of 1000. Has basic level lightning control ability experience, 10 out of 1000, no attribute points left. The Lan Giap Tik clone is a thorny lizard with twice evolved scales and is considered a mature, ferocious beast. Try to become a ferocious beast leader. Evolution points gained, 390 out of 5000, has the ability of 3 Chi Qian Ven and 3 Chi Armed. Additionally, innate traits include water affinity and orderly lightning control. The tail and electric spark appearing is Transo in the Langiap Tik clone testing lightning power against a sea beast. He just ate it alive. Another mutated sea beast, no less than the giant spider last time. Then gained 980 evolution points. He opened his mouth with delight. The thorny lizard can also control lightning even stronger than himself. At Nin City Airport, 4 people are standing there. Kwanjuk stepped forward, greeting. You two are Special Agent Bureau comrades, right? I'm Kwanjuk, responsible for receiving you. He shook hands with the man in black. The man introduced himself. I'm Huang Quanfeng. Please cooperate with us this time. The person next to him got straight to the point. Nam Kung Kiem, in charge of case 907. He took us to see the body, looking at the head-stabbed corpse on the cart. Kwanjuk pointed at the body and gave information this person died last night, the only body found at this time. 4 days ago, every night, 4 people died mysteriously. Quanfeng focused green energy on his hand. Sure enough, a ghost appeared, the image of a woman with her mouth wide open then dispersing. Kung Kiem observed and recognized the Yen Diachi had died. He was surprised, furrowing his brow. What, already dead? In the warehouse across Tran. So kept kicking the punching bag, power increasing too fast, basically unable to control this kind of strength. Now, he even dared not go to Nihin's house, afraid that just sitting down would break the sofa. Recalling when Nihin sat in the car, she invited him, "Hello, boss, would you like to go upstairs for a cup of tea?" He only regretted, "No, I have something to do later." While guarding himself, he worried and thought more, no longer daring to get close to her. What if he accidentally broke her bones? The sky was clear on the second day. Tran. So listen to the broker presenting. "Mr. Tran, this is villa number 88. Main building, 560 front yard, 70 milpa plus a backyard over 200 milpads and an 80 milnor pool." He continued. "Buyer will get all furniture worth over 1 million if paying the full price, which is 34 million. He looked at his phone and bargained 2,550. "Then I'll buy." Inside the phone came a scream. "Uncle, there's a monster, help me." Kung Kiem and Quan Fong stood before a wall. Turns out both were standing on the roof. Quan Fong analyzed the whole situation. "Captain, no unusual info since last night. The real pollutant is dead, but strangely it's in a decayed state. This kind of power can't kill people, and ordinary people can't do anything." He looked at the city below and suggested to the captain, "Why don't we stay and investigate more, and also check out the city's prosperity?" Yevang Kung Kim crossed his arms and replied, "If you have time, then cultivate." Quan Fong was startled and exclaimed, "But why can't we see the tall buildings in front of us?" He shared known info. The professor speculated that the next spatial disturbances will be over 10 times stronger than before. The top priority is to improve overall strength and weight for that day. His expression was serious and determined. "Only this way can we avoid wasting the country's investment in us." Somewhere by the wall, it turned out, Tran. So in the thorny lizard clone swam to the last golden bucket and found something valuable. But the silt just scooped up was too rough and many porcelain pieces were broken. Glancing at the high-priced antique vase on the phone, Tran. So thought, getting rich. Song Dynasty items must be worth hundreds of thousands, maybe millions. In front of him was a hot coffee. He sighed regretfully, thinking, "Too bad I accidentally broke many pieces estimated to be worth hundreds of millions." Suddenly, a quarrel caught his attention. The waitress shouted, "Ah, what are you touching?" The man shouted, "What do you mean touching her randomly? Did you see it with your own eyes?" "Don't talk nonsense." Hantak twitched his ear, acting arrogant. "But did you say I touched her accidentally, or should I touch back?" The customer nearby couldn't hold back. "Why are you so shameless?" He yelled back, "So what if you saw it? If you've got guts, come fight me." Tran. So passed by the scared waitress and said, "Interesting, I've never seen someone so aggressive." Hantak put his hands on his hips arrogantly. "Today you've met me, not convinced." "Not convinced? Then come fight me." Hantak swayed his chubby body, constantly taunting Tran. "So, if you've got guts, come hit me. Ha ha." Another hot-headed young man only dared to move his mouth. Tran So punched his palm, ready to beat the guy in front. He asked the waitress. A hand reached up and unplugged the power cord. The waitress covered her mouth, pretending to be embarrassed. "Who's old? Our camera is broken." Transo smiled slyly. Hehehe. Hantak saw this and suddenly got scared, unconsciously stepping back. A loud slap echoed. His face showed a bright red handprint foam at the mouth, and he fainted on the spot. Tran. So waved his hand, looking at the guy lying flat there, smiling mockingly. "Why do some people like getting beaten in this day and age? Ridiculous!" The scene shifted to apartments packed by the riverside. Tran So lay deep in a chair, playing with sparks flickering on his fingers indoors. The system notified, "Lightning control experience. Butts 110 points spirit power, Butsam 1 point." He thought, 100 years of human life compared to a billion-year-old star is just a fleeting moment. He silently decided, one day I will break this life and death limit. On the second day, Transo stood by the car door, reminding Tolan Nguyet, standing in front. "Now you spend time studying the accounting books. Later, the company's financial books will be handed over to you. Your salary will be doubled." Tolan Nguyet scratched her head awkwardly and replied, "Ah, yes, boss." She hugged a stack of papers and curiously asked, "But boss, where are we going next?" Tran. So smiled, opened the car door. "To buy some specialty goods." A clear morning at a cluster of big shops. A man wearing glasses with a bracelet on his wrist, holding a string of beads, smiled and extended his hand. "I'm Kao, owner of this antique shop." Tran. So entered, pointed to the suitcase To Lan Nguyet was holding behind. Please, Mr. Chow, help me check how much this plate is worth. Hearing that, the shop owner said, Please come upstairs, let's talk more. A white round porcelain item was placed in the center of the suitcase, shining brightly. Mr. Cow stared at it, raised his hand to his mouth thoughtfully. It smells salty, like seawater, seems freshly salvaged. He sat down and said to Tran, So, young man, this is a genuine item, but it comes in pairs. You only have one, so the value won't be very high. Tran So frowned, raised 2 fingers to support his head, regretfully said, So it's supposed to be a pair. When I picked up this porcelain vase, there were many broken pieces around it. Only this one is intact. Mr. Cow came closer to comfort. That's a pity. If it's just this piece, I can offer you at most 4.5 million. He then pulled back the suitcase and said, All right, let me think about it. On the street, To La Naoyet held a cup of water and asked the boss, After moving so many shops, are you still Mr. Shao? Tran So chewed on a candied hawthorn skewer and replied, But in reality, the price he gave is the highest, or should we sell to him? Thinking about Mr. Cow's face, he frowned. But there's something off about his eyes. There's clearly a demon inside him. In the living room of a luxurious villa, a blond man stood, with his back turned, speaking. You said you found clues about the sunken ship. Mr. Cow held the suitcase with the porcelain item forward, smiling to flatter. See, this porcelain has an official stamp. This is the batch we're looking for. This porcelain owner was sold to me by a young man. He must know the details. The man didn't turn his head, just ordered. Send info to Holai within half an hour. I want all info on this person. A few minutes later, Mr. Cow looked at his phone screen, furrowed his brow. Then he began reporting. An ordinary college student suddenly buys a luxury car for 3 million, even went abroad with Li Tian Due. Boss, are we planning to cooperate with the person behind him? The blond man named Zhou Hong clasped his hands and laughed scornfully. Not cooperate. Haha. Elsewhere, Tran So lay on the bed, recalling the morning's buying and selling scene. Mr. Cow told him, Please fill in your info here. When trading or auctioning, your info will be needed. He didn't hesitate to respond. Tran So pondered. Today's transaction went smoothly, but why do I always feel something's off about Mr. Cow? Hope nothing unusual happens with him. The next morning, Tran So leaned against the elevator wall, clenching his fist. Nothing unusual last night, maybe I overthought. Forget it, let's just go to school and see, he thought. After digesting the seahorse, his muscle density strength reached 50 to 60 times that of a normal person. Not sure if he can even block bullets now. The elevator stopped. A man in a hood stood outside. As Tran So stepped out after the door opened, the man approached from behind, threatening, Don't move, don't speak. Come with me. He pressed a pistol to his back. A long car sped down the road. Inside, Tran So held his head, crouched down, yelling, Do you know where you're taking me? I don't think I offended you. A red-haired driver wearing black glasses raised a knife at him and warned, Taking you to meet someone, so be honest. At a warehouse crowded with people, a henchman passed by. Another came to the man sitting on a chair and reported, Boss, the guy has been brought over. The leader had a scar over his right eye, sideburns. A fierce face, holding a meat skewer, angrily said, Damn you, let me see what kind of guy made me wait all night. Tran So stepped forward, waved his hand, scratched his throat with a disappointed tone. Why are there only you guys here? The red-haired driver was very panicked inside. This kid was scared earlier, but now so calm. Strange, his way of talking is a bit scary. The boss shouted, ordering his men with guns. What are you standing there for? Take him down. Tran So immediately turned to the hooded man behind, kicked him in the chin, causing a bloody nose, and the gun flew up. Tran So easily caught the gun. The kicked man rolled his eyes and collapsed. Seeing this, the other henchmen pointed guns at him and ordered, Kid, drop the gun. Can't you hear boss said drop the gun? The leader was a bit scared, but still confident. You have 1 gun, I have 2. Also, your gun only has 1 bullet, kid. Damn you, we've surrounded you. Tran So stood there fearless, even with a hint of contempt. You don't get the situations. Actually, you're the one surrounded by me alone. He smiled each word like granting them a favor. Tell me who's behind you. Then I'll make you die fast. A gunshot rang out with a fierce shockwave. The one who fired was none other than Tran So. The bullet hit the boss right between the eyes. His henchmen shouted, Boss! The rest got agitated and fired continuously at him. He's out of bullets, kill him. One of the bullets in the volley hit his hand, causing the gun to fly out. But it wasn't because he was seriously injured, but to catch the bullet with just 3 fingers. Their faces showed extreme confusion. What the hell? How could he do that? Oh god, a monster. He actually blocked the bullet. Tran. So laughed arrogantly, signaling he was ready for more. Turns out he's this strong now. What followed was only the screams of the weaker ones. He approached a trembling man curled in the corner. Tell me who sent you. The man honestly confessed it was Manhwa Group chairman, Jo Hong. The shop on the old street also belongs to him, currently at Kwanson Villa number 3. Taking a phone from the dead boss's pocket, who didn't close his eyes in time, he informed the other end, I'm Tran. So, Jo Hong right, I'll visit you tonight. Jo Hong couldn't believe it. Old Cow nearby frowned and said, he dared to ask for 2 billion, his attitude is really bold. Jo Hong coldly gave orders, get ready. This 2 billion can buy dozens of lives to see if he's capable of getting the money. On a street late at night, a black shadow ran faster than a car. Tran. So thought, my physique and speed now reach 120 meters per second. At Jo Hong's villa, lights were bright everywhere, many armed guards surrounded. Old Cow wondered, did the boss or that kid get scared and didn't dare come? Du Hong sat back in his chair, slowly rebutting. He can kill 7 Black Tiger members, 3 of whom had guns. This kid is no joke. His eyes suddenly lit up with confidence. I've trained over 10 shooters and dozens of loyal subordinates, so now it's time to see how they perform. The space fell silent. The power was cut off, causing chaos among the guards in the garden. The information was immediately relayed via walkie-talkie. Start the backup generator. The gate cameras down the front door is also broken. The opponent's speed is too fast. Du Hong was so angry, his veins bulged. He slammed his hand on the table and ordered, no matter who it is, shoot on sight, no matter life or death. Inside a long corridor, all the guards were taken down by a swift shadow. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. The subordinates inside prepared to shoot at any moment. The door slowly opened. Du Hong shouted loudly, open fire. But before he could finish, Tran. So had already taken down 2 guards in the blink of an eye. Only then did Du Hong break out in cold sweat, instinctively raising his hands to shield himself. As expected, the awakened one realized the situation was bad and had to negotiate with him. 500 million. Mr. Tran, can I buy our lives for 500 million? He replied coldly, that's tempting, but too many have died already. I can't let you live anymore. Tell me about the awakened one, then I'll let you die quickly. He could only watch helplessly as he had no choice but to reveal what he knew. Time rewound back to 1999 at Hoson-chan. In 1999, Okafuan and 10 brothers fought over territory. A man engulfed in flames fell from the sky, and immediately the Hoson town turned into a sea of fire. He stood watching the lake created by that massive explosion. The next day, this place became a lake, and Trin Fu named it Dia Hang Lake. He couldn't help but marvel, the awakened one is truly powerful. Luckily, I didn't waste this time. However, after telling the story, Du Hong tried to betray him, directly pointing a gun at him and saying, you die, brat. He simply leapt into the air, quickly taking down the last 2 ringleaders, eliminating them all within a few steps. No matter how much wealth you have, it's nothing but an ant to me. Not long after, Du Hong's mansion was reduced to rubble. Quan Th listed the total casualties, 31 bodies, including the chairman of Manhwa Group, Kwang Duk. Quickly connecting the events, he guessed who was behind it all. If I'm not mistaken, it must be Transo. Maybe he was also the one who killed the group in the mangrove forest. He continued reasoning. The Ki Jiaba Jong is acting strangely. The second shockwave is about to hit. He originally planned to give him a power-up quota to enter the Ghost Palace. His expression turned serious, but he's too ruthless, cold-blooded. His path is a bit misguided. On the other side, an empty tray was left on a specific table. This was Transo's port warehouse. Looking at the tray, he muttered, half the roasted chicken I left is gone, and there are still grease marks. Seems like something unusual came here last night. Suddenly, a notification popped up. You gained 67 physical evolution points plus 6.7. His clone was swimming in clear water, tightly holding a fish head in his mouth. Over there, still passing by. Let's see. At a depth of 1,200 meters under the sea, he discovered an underwater volcano vent. This seemed to be an active volcano. The atmospheric pressure at this depth made him feel a bit uncomfortable. Back at the port warehouse, the building was relatively large in scale. A hand appeared and disappeared, carrying a package labeled Transo's Fried Chicken. Transo hid behind a wall, watching the mysterious person's every move. "You can't escape." He charged out, proudly clenching his fist, and threw a powerful punch at the target without hesitation. But unexpectedly, the person suddenly vanished without a trace, disappearing silently. What kind of ability is this? A dimensional water trail, or a portal to another world, or something else? Only strange fragments fell beside his feet. The system suddenly sounded an alarm. Notification: your body is being corroded by polluted energy. Notification: due to your enhanced abilities, you are immune, but after 5 hours, your body's resistance will be destroyed. The surrounding space suddenly changed, as if a layer of ice was spreading toward Tran, so forcing him to slowly retreat. This place is another world. A dazzling door appeared before his eyes. There stood a demonic shadow waiting, silently rushing at him with clear, murderous intent. He wasn't easily shaken, seeing its zombie-like form. Is it a zombie or some kind of monster? Whatever it was, one punch from him turned it to dust. Notification appeared. You have killed a third-grade ghost zombie. Returning to the door from before, a new line appeared. Welcome to Ho Sun Town. He stepped inside, observing the desolate surroundings. Ho Sun Town was the town Du Hong mentioned, which collapsed into a lake overnight. He glanced one last time, then turned to leave. It turned out Ho Sun Town wasn't destroyed by people, but was pulled into another world. Forget it, go back. This place is a bit off and dangerous. He turned around, unaware that a strange little girl was watching him from a tree branch afar. The girl raised a strange object to her mouth and gnawed on it fiercely. Her bangs covered her expression. He quickly upgraded his stats by 2 points, fully enhancing his lightning power. Status: updated attribute points, enhanced, including lightning control ability. Experience points, plus 20 spirit, plus 2. A keyword line was immediately searched online. Ho Sun Town flooded, 180 missing, 30,000 evacuated. Back home, Tran, so relaxed on the sofa while browsing his phone for info. Over 30,000 people disappeared with Ho Sun Town. What if all 30,000 had turned into ghost zombies? Then how many attribute points would that be? He called Lai Tianhu. "Hello, it's me. Please help me find out where the people evacuated from Ho Sun Town 20 years ago are now." The other end quickly agreed. Ho Sun Town got it. "Tomorrow, I'll bring you the news." The next day, Tran, so, wearing cool sunglasses, requested from the metal goods manufacturer, "Build me a small steel room and make a huge sword for decoration. The sword should be 2 meters long, thick, heavy, sturdy, and sharp." The manager quickly explained, "Boss Tran, making the blade might be difficult because swords are regulated by the government." He held up 2 fingers with a sly look. Manager: "Lai, do you think anyone would kill with a 100-kilogram, 2-meter-long sword?" The manager broke out in a cold sweat, only able to laugh awkwardly. Ha ha ha. He felt very pleased inside. After all, ghost zombies are strange, infectious creatures. Besides the sword and steel house, he needed to get a full set of steel armor. At the seafood hotel, Tianhu shook her wineglass and revealed what she had found. Information from survivors of Ho Sun Town is very chaotic. The government says it's stabilized, but I conducted a special investigation and found no information at all. Transo kept sighing while driving back, just as I thought all 30,000 people were buried there. But his clone is still feasting on the pile of freshly dead fish at the bottom of the sea. Today's a good day, caught over 40 already. Just 300 evolution points short of completing the 3rd stage evolution. The next morning, at a fancy villa, the enthusiastic broker introduced the owner of the villa, Miss Lam Than Nga. She didn't hesitate to praise him, saying Boss Tran really has an eye for talent. He rubbed his head and placed a large sum of money on the nearby cabinet. All the cash was right there. Once Miss Lam finishes counting, we can start the paperwork. This action left her speechless over 2 billion in cash at a depth of 1,500 meters underwater. The screen notification showed evolution points added to 29. The evolution value has reached the maximum. Do you want to evolve? Without hesitation, he accepted the evolution. His body curled up, covered by a large fireball all over. A similar energy source connected to the main body. The bustling sound of diligent ants directly transmitted to his keen hearing. Even from hundreds of meters away, the sound of ants carrying food was clear. His whole body radiated a brilliant flame. He closed his eyes tightly to better focus and listen. 300 meters away, a patrol guard was complaining about life. His strength and speed have doubled, but he can still easily control it. level has risen to Earth Dragon stamina increased to 1,000, and spirit power also rose to 200. The system immediately unlocked talents including water compatibility, red fire breath, and thunder control. He stared intently at the array of new skills. Red fire breath. This new ability probably came from eating mutated hoofish. The current Langyap has evolved into a huge, fierce creature. Its body is now 40 meters long. It's no longer a giant lizard, but clearly Godzilla. Seconds later, he unleashed the red fire breath, which scattered and made the power even more fierce, but his internal energy was still too weak. The power of the red fire breath was still quite ordinary. From the dark corner, two pairs of bright red eyes stared at him. From afar, a huge man underwater held the wide mouth of a fish with both hands. This guy could bite through an aircraft carrier with just one chunk. Not bad strength, no mercy at all. Its mouth was torn apart by one of his hands, a gruesome sight, but still not too bad. He continued carrying the prey while swimming and scouting. This hoofish grants over 2,000 evolution points and carries a lot of intense energy. This cave is the habitat of the giant hoofish. The scene before him stunned him and he spat out the piece of prey in his mouth. A giant skull pierced through by a long pillar. He hurriedly swam closer, terrifying indeed, yet it gave him an inexplicable sense of fear. It seems there's something inside this skull. The energy in his body is boiling. The system immediately asked, "You have discovered an ancient element, do you want to absorb it?" Once again, without hesitation, he absorbed it instantly. Your clone has absorbed the ancient element, achieving super evolution, gaining the power of the ancient beast Red Flame. Absorbing the power of Red Flame plus 10. He opened his mouth wide, the maximum energy condensed at a point, stats continuously increasing. Absorbing the power of Red Flame, plus 11. Sparks shot straight into the sky with incredible destructive force. He slowly surfaced, looking toward the distant explosion site, silently judging. The power is strong. Just one breath of energy, and an entire island vanished. In the warehouse, Tran. So finally received an order including a 2-meter sword and Titan armor. He examined it from every angle. This sword weighs 200 pounds, very handy. Then let's call you the Heaven-Piercing Great Sword. This Titan alloy armor is also very good and flexible. He smiled confidently after evolving. Then he peeked out from behind the wall, cautiously observing. Just didn't expect it to be a little girl. She's the survivor from Hosun Town. Does she have superpowers? Or is she also a monster? He's currently in the strange world he encountered not long ago. The girl slowly approached where countless dark shadows were waiting. At night, Hosun Town starts to get lively, huh? Tran so ruthlessly took down each one. Notification. You killed a ghost soldier, gained 5 attribute points. He chose to instantly enhance the Heaven-Piercing Great Sword. Then came many other questions. Please choose enhancement types, including toughness, sharpness, armor, penetration, or ghost damage, along with elemental enhancements, like wind, fire, thunder, or light. He quickly decided 3 points toughness, 2 points sharpness. Suddenly, a terrifying ghost soldier emerged from the smoke. It glared at him as if wanting to devour him alive. He muttered really fast. But after clearing the ghost soldiers, Tran so received a notification, bonus points, you killed a level 2 bone ghost, gained 10 strength attribute points. Your armor has been enhanced by 15 points, gaining level 1 recoil attribute. He ordered the system to allocate bonus points, 5 points toughness enhancement for armor, 5 points sharpness enhancement for dominance. Suddenly, he became alert. Strange dark shadows lurking in the black smoke slowly approached him. He stomped hard to gain momentum, then charged forward, unleashing slashes like a storm. The dark shadows were instantly cut into pieces. Notifications kept popping up. You killed a level 2 violent ghost soldier, gained 12 attribute points. The notification repeated 3 times. He slipped a long distance before stopping, but the enemy's attack wasn't over. Another tall guy came at him. His fist aimed threateningly at him. Having a big guy isn't bad, all attribute points have been used anyway. Let's test my skills. This time, he didn't use a sword, but fought hand-to-hand, creating a fierce shockwave dust flying everywhere. He knelt down on one knee, using his sword as support. Great strength, not weaker than me at all, but slower. If that's the case, I'm done playing. He jumped high continuously, slashing the giant monster's belly. The system voice rang out. You killed a level 5 ghost armor demon, gained 100 attribute points. Detected ghost armor element, consuming 10 attribute points to absorb. He observed and marveled, level 5. No wonder its power and defense are terrifying, had to slash more than 10 times to kill it. Now I just need a finishing move, maybe a one-hit knockout. After a fierce battle, the monsters finally disappeared. Tran so shouted toward the buildings, "Run, run." He found a little girl curled up next to a wooden crate. That girl had stolen his roast chicken, but still told him to run quickly, but there was no malice in her eyes. He gently patted her head, soothing her. Your name is he, right? My name is Tran So. From now on, you're my little sister and I'll protect you well. Let's go, he. I'll take you home and buy you new clothes. Back at his apartment, he drove while asking the girl, he, what was that dark tide that drowned the earth? Her eyes sparkled as she looked outside, babbling each word. That's the black tide. He also doesn't know, is it dangerous? After a while, just as he promised, she got a cute new dress, happily running around the house. He pointed to the pile of food just bought. All done, let's eat. New info, updated, character name, Tran. So current level, Earth, great stamina, over 1000 roast, spirit over 200. Skills include external key perception, both at beginner level, with experience values of 780 and 640 out of 1000, respectively. Skills include Ice Fist at beginner level with 105 out of 500 experience, Ascending Cloud Leap and Spear Kick, both at intermediate level experience values 580 and 461 out of 1000. Two current abilities, Thunder Control at beginner level with 400 out of 10,000 experience, and Red Flame with 930 out of 10,000 attribute points at 80. Inside the bag is a unit of Ghost Armor, Element, Weapon, is Heaven Piercing, Great Sword with +113, Hardness, +7, Sharpness, +110, Armor, Penetration, Ghost Emperor, Armor, with +135 Hardness and level 1 Recoil feature. His clone. Ancient Land Sword has become the great leader of fierce ancient beasts after 3 evolutions. Current evolution value 220 out of 10,000. While eating chicken leg, he analyzed internally. In the last battle, external Qui covered the whole body, and red fire energy accumulated inside, then unleashed great power. This can be considered a killer move. All 80 attribute points enhance external QI. I channel internal energy into my palm. Clench my fist, I've broken through to intermediate level strength, increased at least 3-fold, making. He gaped in amazement. Inside Ningdai's dazzling building, a group was discussing. A young man with glasses spoke. The training we're doing now is said to reach at least the junior officer rank after completion. The blonde youth looked worried and said, Junior officer rank. A black-haired girl questioned, Do you think we've been targeted by some mysterious department? Another young man entered and added, Exactly, the city has set up a special department. After finishing the training, you'll be promoted to junior officer rank. But after training, there will be many dangerous missions. Will you choose to join or quit? Everyone immediately answered in unison, I agree to join. In the warehouse, Tran. So was continuously practicing martial arts. He punched not a punching bag but a concrete pillar. A dent appeared where he punched. External QE gathered the power of red fire inside and unleashed it. This is my killer move. This punch weighs at least 150 tons. This attack is called Absolute Strike. He sat down to rest. 100 punches is the limit. If I meet that ghost again, I can take it down with just 3 punches. In Ningdai's flower garden on a wide road, Tran So drove by a car carrying the group who had been discussing earlier. There were 2 opinions about him. Wow, that guy's so handsome. That car isn't cheap. Clearly, he's a rich second-generation playboy. Lam Nuok Na, sitting nearby, immediately reminded, Don't talk about him like that. The guy with glasses asked Nuok Na, Why are you defending him? The driver replied based on knowledge, because a month ago he rescued Lam Nuok Na from 4 kidnappers. They continued gossiping. That guy who looks like a gigolo actually saved someone from 4 kidnappers. Kidnapping those people is really playing with death. Is he really that powerful? Meanwhile, he were relaxing on a park bench. His clone underwater was still patrolling. Suddenly, he noticed a submarine in the distance. Turns out, inside the sub were all female kangaroos. No wonder the thieves' logic is like that. Perfect chance to test my ancient Lan sword's power. The sailors inside the sub, seeing his massive form, were spotted by a chaotic fan. Sona. A large creature is approaching from 100 meters away. A big object is coming toward us very fast. Seawater flooded in, making the sailors unable to stand. The 2 rear cabins were severely damaged and started flooding. Then the sonar facilities were damaged too. The captain immediately ordered, close up quickly to prevent backflow. Activate multi-beam wind mode, lock target direction, and map the surroundings. A sailor watching the report screen told the captain, It's a long, narrow creature over 40 meters bigger than a blue whale. The captain couldn't believe it, waving his hand to object. How can such a huge creature exist in the world? Even blue whales are only about 30 meters long. Hurry, close the rear doors. Surface now. Someone else shouted, the sub is seriously flooded and still under attack. The captain ordered immediate torpedo launch, maximum speed, and full surfacing effort. He smugly looked at the tiny torpedoes launched behind. Ha ha ha, I can easily swim to dodge them. My speed has reached 200 and kRh torpedoes can't catch up. Nice move. Just getting started. With his speed, he caught up with the fleeing sub. He hid behind, planning to use the enemy's weapons against them, letting the torpedoes hit the sub. A terrible explosion happened, underwater debris flying everywhere. After admiring the spectacular test, he assessed himself. The torpedo explosion's power still makes me uncomfortable. If hit head-on, I'd definitely get injured. Looks like I need to keep increasing my strength. Cut to the ground. At a party, a dancer was performing on stage. A young man near Tran, so praised nonstop. She's a freshman in the foreign language department and one of the 4 beauties of Tanfo University. And this is Du Tien Tien with her unique peacock dance. His eyes filled with awe as if enlightened. So it's her. So beautiful, Du Tien. Tien finished the performance gracefully. From behind, someone approached, gave her a big bouquet of roses, and said, Tien Tien, the first time I saw you, I was enchanted. Will you be my girlfriend? Below, the audience disapproved, complaining nonstop. Go away, they kept cursing. What era is this still playing these games? Don't embarrass yourself there anymore. Tien Tien hurriedly refused the senior. The audience below didn't let me agree with him, and besides, I don't like him. After the party ended, Tien Tien approached Senior Tran So. Do you still recognize me? Making many people turn back to look at the beauty queen, yet she's waiting for that guy. Tien Tien stammered, blushing. Last month, I called the police to save a girl who was drugged. Tran So responded indifferently. Oh, I have that impression. Why did you come to find me? Are her cheeks flushed, or is she just an awkward 18-year-old girl? Tran So didn't wait any longer. If there's nothing else, I'll go ahead. See you later. Tien Tien looked back at him and evaluated. That car is worth over 2 million, and the shoes he's wearing are Gucci, costing more than 30,000 a pair. This is the true style of the genuine Futu elite, unlike that guy in Guituan, haha. Tran So stepped toward the vast abyss, looked around, and thought to himself, following I need to find a cave before the black tide arrives. Everything on the surface will disappear. The cave is 30 meters deep, about 4 or 5 meters wide and high. Perfect. Just after slashing the monster, the system displayed. You have defeated a level 2 mutated bone demon, received 20 attribute points. You have defeated a level 3 mutated fireflame demon, received 20 attribute points. He silently observed the monsters and requested more demons. So it evolved the fireflame ability. No wonder I feel a bit uncomfortable, like the heat is burning me. System, can I reinforce my clothes with more magic resistance? System replied, you spent 10 attribute points. Your armor integrated with magic armor material upgraded to superb quality. He looked at the monster burning and sneered. Magic armor at superb level is almost immune to normal fire flame. In his mind, he thought about the vast ocean with few fish in the deep Pacific, making it hard to find mutated fish. Instead, it's better to hunt fish in human fishing grounds. So in some bay, a school of mutated fish is targeting him as an attractive prey. But unfortunately, they are the ones being caught. About 20 fish equal the amount I catch in half a day. He blocked with his sword, a bit surprised by that power. The speed is really fast, already breaking the sound barrier. From afar, a monster rushed in to attack the fresh scent of a human. Looking it over, he judged the sword technique of this demon surprisingly exquisite. When it swung the sword, its arm shook twice, and the blade's trajectory changed. Tran So stepped back a foot, feeling joyful inside. Learned it now. It's time to finish this. He charged right in front of the monster, full of killing intent. They say the blind spot is usually at the bottom, but this one's right on the chest. It puffed up its chest and blew out a flame, trying to burn him alive. Tran So was clear-headed, ready to counter with the sword to block the ultimate flame. The monster looked confused, a question mark on its face. Suddenly, he attacked straight at its groin, aiming for the weak spot to take it down immediately. System notification. You killed a level 5 flame-crippled demon, received 100 attribute points, and detected the nuclear fusion element. Spent 10 attribute points to acquire it. System added, he agreed to absorb the nuclear fusion element. His sword was empowered further. The weapon Thuong Thien Ba Zhao fused with magical materials, quality upgraded to superb. Without hesitation, he tested the new product, a perfect slash, forming a crescent shape. Tran So cheered. It can even convert the energy of red flame and thunder into sword energy shooting out. Other monsters appeared. He looked around and commented, "Human-turned demons. Forget it, this forest is too quiet. A bit eerie, better head back." He returned to the warehouse. He obediently helped him. "Tran, so said, help me close the door." He was thoughtful, obviously worried inside as he walked. He asked, "Can you really close an invisible door?" "This relates to spatial power. She's more mysterious than I thought. Better to close it to prevent demons from escaping when I'm not here." System notification storage space detected. You can exchange 10 attribute points for 1 cubic meter. "Do you want to exchange, Tran?" So didn't hesitate and chose to exchange. Holding the huge sword, he commented, "It knows exactly what I need." Just when I was about to complain about the inconvenience of carrying and storing it, gave me more storage space. Transo, in evolved form, grew 5.6 meters taller in just 3 hours, gaining over 500 evolution points. Human farming areas are definitely more profitable. Fishermen were surprised to see rotten fish floating on the surface. "Yamada, can you see what happened to the tuna?" "Strange, not enough oxygen." They grew more worried as something unusual happened. "Oh no, blood in the sea, something happened to the tuna." Just then, a loud explosion shattered the ship into pieces. Both fishermen were hit by the big tail, making a loud sound. Back at the villa, a familiar, deep voice sounded. "Still over 100 attribute points left. It's time to improve in all aspects." System notifications followed. Spent 40 attribute points to enhance. Key perception, gained 400 experience points mid-level breakthrough. Spent 60 attribute points to enhance Thunderfoot, 600 experience points, advanced breakthrough, renamed to Moonstep. Transo enjoyed the cultivation points for chi perception, increasing sensing range from 100 myths to 1 kilometers. Moonstep can even temporarily walk on air. Tran So was brushing his hair when the TV news appeared. A terrifying black fog appeared in Tesla City in northern Europe, covering hundreds of kilometers and causing over 50 people to go missing. He thought to himself, the black fog is very similar to the black tide in Hosan town. It seems this peaceful world won't last much longer. At Okumachi Island, Waters, a huge ship, lies at the ocean floor with top-level analysis systems installed. Suzimoto asked, "Has Professor Khan's research made any progress?" The young man glanced and replied, "The professor has extracted a super-level gen from the giant beast, and we've found a way to revive this monster." He was amazed by the boy's intelligence, raising his joy. Super-level gen. That means superhumans can be mass-produced now. Suzimoto added, "Not only that, super-level beasts will also be under our control." Approaching a cave outside the sound ship, the professor and subordinates said in turn, "Professor, the micronuclear energy conversion is complete. Good, send it to the location immediately." Inside, a huge terror monster was stabbed in the chest by a sword, and another monster lay in a giant test tube. The person below kept reporting about the test tube, electric ring installation, complete nuclear electric energy, connected. Professor Khan proudly looked at the monster. "It's smart enough to know the electric ring will kill it, so it will obediently lie down under our control." Sujia. To sly-mouthed, flattered Professor Khan, "You're truly an outstanding professor, even surpassing Albert Einstein." He was pleased with his experiment. Success. The Terror Beast is about to be revived, outside Tren. So overheard the sinister plot. These guys actually want to revive that Terror Beast. They deserve to die. Without hesitation, he leapt down, making Khan shout in panic. "It's the Terror Beast. Everyone stop it, or we'll all die. Shooter, fire!" He loudly called Suzimoto. "Let's get to the submarine, quickly." Shooters fired guns and threw grenades at him, one after another. His Terror Beast body was as hard as stone. Despite continuous gunfire, it was just a minor irritation. He stepped forward behind Suzimoto, who nervously looked back. He searched for them through the thick smoke and fire. As said, he wasn't hurt at all. Two shooters were terrified of him. That was a 24mm armor-piercing bullet, plus missiles. This could start a small-scale war. He thought, so this is the little military power of superhumans. Tran, so, in the divine Killing Sword. Ancient form shouted a terrifying roar, making the shooter's eyes widen. While the battle raged, the professor and Suzimoto tried to escape. No dodging in this fight, Tran, so wants to run. He blew a breath that exploded their spot. The Terror Beast in the test tube moved, sensing his hesitation. It actually woke up when awake. It's terrifying. Stay away, far away, then kill it without hesitation. He immediately opened his mouth and shot out an electric ball. The newly revived terror beast exploded into pieces. Furious inside, I just came back to life. My flesh and blood aren't solid enough yet. Don't. System notification appeared. Detected damaged. Gen. Ancient. Do you want to absorb it? He happily accepted the damage. Okay, absorb it. A series of notifications appeared. Your clone rested. Hard gained. 5 evolution points. Your physique increased by 0.5. At a cafe? Tran. So frowned, thinking. After absorbing damage again, just resting can make me stronger. He didn't care about the world. Delicious. Suddenly his phone rang a message from Turo Tian. Hey, are you free tomorrow? Let's have dinner together. Though reluctant, he agreed. Okay, I'll pick you up at 11 tomorrow. Inside the teleport door, he was training hard. Amazing. Even an armed tank can be torn apart by these blades. A loud slash. The small monster was destroyed. Notification. You killed a level 4 demon, received 50 attribute points. He didn't expect such a low-level monster, only level 4. I thought it would be at least level 5. Transo swiftly moved, sensing another monster resembling a giant hedgehog. He thought while fighting, can it really damage my superb level magic armor? Notification 50 attribute points to enhance magic armor on feet. So he took a run and flew straight at it. Rocks and dirt exploded under his feet. Man plans monster counters. It created a shield for itself. His attack was countered. He needed another plan. It even has an energy barrier. If so, ultimate flame immediately. The monster's head was severed from its neck. Notification. You killed a level 6 demon, received 200 attribute points. He had to split the points: 100 for enhancing external environment, 100 for enhancing red flame. The blade's flame temperature rose from 3,000 to 10,000 degrees. He tried the new hot weapon, slashing a small monster. The sword energy attack range reached 30 meters. The dragonfly from before was killed with one sword strike. Haha. His attribute panel was fully opened by the system. Character Tran. So Earth level stamina and spirit attributes plus current skills including external environment, key perception, ice fist, literary style, moon, step. Current ability red flame, wielding the weapon Zwang Tien Loi Jiao. He sat comfortably on the sofa, reviewing attributes. Strength added to external environment, lethal moves with ultimate flame long range, with red flame, sword chi, perception, only chi perception. Also has various magic armors and overlord magic power covering his body. He summoned a blazing flame. Next was training Ice Fist literary style moon step and controlling thunder. 2 days later, on the date with Tian Tian, everyone was gossiping about their relationship. Isn't that beauty queen Turo Tian Tian? Even a beauty queen can't resist the temptation of luxury cars, huh? Since when did the atmosphere at Ning University become so bad? Tian Tian happily rested her chin on the VIP class student president's car and said, I'm treating you, what do you want to eat? He frowned and replied, let's have seafood. Holding the menu, he read, wild long oysters, weighing 4 pounds. But in his mind, he was already thinking of 2 orders of imperial abalone. Tian Tian broke out in cold sweat, hearing the menu prices already over 70,000 spent. My budget for 3 months' living expenses is only 10,000, and it's all gone. She pretended to be shy student president. I only brought 10,000. Can you lend me some later? I'll pay you back. Tran. So the wealthy elite waved his hand, emitting a money aura. No problem. The bill's paid. Just eat. Without worry. Tian Tian felt relieved of financial burden and regained her cheerful spirit. The student president said, did you start a shipping company? That's really impressive. I heard you rarely come to school. Turns out you're busy with your career. Men busy with their careers are the most attractive. He replied with a proud look and CEO aura. Not exactly. I don't go to school because I'm busy fighting monsters and leveling up, and I don't have time to manage the company. Tian Tian didn't understand. Fighting monsters and leveling up is like playing a game. But she secretly wished. When the dishes were served, there were 3 big crabs. Tran. So frowned, thinking, if the apocalypse happens, I don't know if this prosperity will still exist. At a luxury shopping center, Tian Tian stood among the crowd, blushing, thinking about what's next. He said after eating we'd go shopping, but it's LV and 80,000 meal, plus over 300,000 on clothes. Oh my monthly living expenses of $2,000 aren't even worth 1 button on his clothes. The CEO Tran. So grabbed her hand. Let's go. I'll buy you some more clothes. Tian Tian hesitated and felt awkward, secretly blaming. Why did he grab my hand? Does he think I'm easy? Oh my god, the black card tycoon cleared the shelves, packed everything for me, swiped the card. The staff was familiar with this very affectionate customer. Last time, it was a beautiful female student, but within a month replaced by an even more beautiful girl. Tian Tian carried big and small bags, feeling thrilled. Oh my god, first time meeting, and he bought me clothes worth over 300,000. Is this spending money like water? But give and take must be balanced. She thought about the next scene. Will he take me to a hotel? What should I do? Meanwhile, at a nearby gym, a monster sneaked inside. Tran. So used his perception skills, sensed something unusual, and hurried over. I have urgent business to handle now, so I'll take you back to school. Tian Tian felt disappointed, wondering if he had no interest in her. She feels a bit uneasy. Could it be that he wants things to happen slowly? Am I overthinking this? As for him, he's worried about that energy aura from earlier. I sense a spatial crack nearby, something strange. But this is the real world, yet there's polluted energy aura appearing. That pitch-black monster full of murderous intent has already been spotted by you. It suddenly lunged with sharp fangs, so get ready to die. With just one kick from Tran, so the monster exploded. Notification. You have killed a low-level polluted monster, gaining 5 attribute points. He guessed internally it was just pollution, not demonic possession, similar to the last time with Amtieo. The monster's remains were left as evidence at the scene. Deputy Director Kwanjuk folded his arms and scolded him. I originally wanted to use this polluted creature to test the results of half a month of tough training. You guys just awakened, yet someone went ahead and killed it first. A girl in the observation group said, looks like this superpowered guy has fire abilities. Someone asked, since when did Ninheap City have fire-type superpowers? Transo turned on the TV to watch the news. Today, hundreds of spatial cracks have appeared worldwide. Unfortunately, we must tell everyone that the apocalypse has become reality. He looked at the news board and guessed, so the apocalypse of 99 has arrived. In the past 25 years, 500,000 people have died on the apocalypse battlefield. Then he typed on his phone again. Over 20 years of peace were built on soldiers' blood. Moreover, we have now entered the era of global evolution. Everyone has the potential to become a superhuman. Doubt flickered in his eyes as he looked at the phone. This public document is just a summary and not comprehensive. As for news about the other side, to get more comprehensive insider info, one must report to the Special Bureau of the city. Beneath the ocean floor, Transo continued practicing fishing. The ancient divine Keelin's body moved vigorously. It could even turn seawater into heavy water. However, that was useless to me. Using the ancient lizard's body, he fiercely roared, opened his mouth, and shot an electric beam straight into the big fish's head, causing it to scream in pain. He thought silently, if I eat this giant whale, I might gain at least 10,000 evolution points. At the Ninheap City Special Bureau branch, many were talking about Tran. So the guy who killed the polluted monster yesterday. Really impressive, even stronger than us. Exactly, and with fire-type superpowers too. Definitely someone awakened among the citizens. Thien asked suspiciously, was that guy you? Could it really be him, based on his behavior that day? Even now, I doubt I could do that. Kwanjuk pushed the door open with an announcement. This afternoon, someone registered as an evolved person. Do you want to go see? Everyone answered in unison. Sure, outside Tran. So wore a full-body outfit. A girl in the group pointed at him and said, he's the one who drove the luxury car on campus that day. Tien's eyes lit up. It really is him. The deputy director secretly acknowledged, it really is him. He stepped forward to explain. To register as an evolved person, you need to undergo tests, mainly strength and speed. Do you have any questions? Tran. So replied, no questions. He continued, this is a testing device that can display a maximum force of 15,000 taikilpalayos. You just need to hit it with full strength later. The other two guys were curious too. Oldly asked, tell me how strong is he? How many stars? Yesterday he killed a polluted creature stronger than us, maybe around 3 stars. The whole group speculated maybe even 4 stars. What are you thinking? A 4-star punch needs to reach 5,000 kilos, not easy to achieve. Judging by his appearance, he seems confident he can blow up the testing machine. Don't joke, our captain is a 5-star evolved person. His strength is only 10,000 kilk, and still gets criticized. Transo suddenly made a sound even his blood could be heard. They only truly believed it after seeing and hearing it themselves that he was really 5 stars. Yes, indeed, a super strong 5-star evolved person. Only regret is that he hasn't fully controlled his power yet. Might have slipped up. Kwanjuk folded his arms and invited him. If you meet the 5-star standard, you can come to the City Special Bureau and receive 50,000 wen monthly. If you agree to join the Special Operations Bureau, your salary will double. You'll be directly appointed Deputy Director of Nin Heap Special Bureau and given the rank of Major. Are you interested? He immediately refused. No, I'm used to freedom and living freely. Kwan Juk probed further. All right, then, were you the one who killed the polluted creature yesterday? That's right. He was very curious. Have you awakened the Fire Flame ability? Your Fire Flame is very strong, not inferior to those awakened people I met back then. With your talent, you could join the Special Operations Bureau and might even be accepted as a disciple by the Fighting God General. Hearing this made him hesitate a bit inside. The Fighting God General is a top-tier person on the Heavenly Flower list. Better to just forget it. My giant divine Kilin must stay more secretive. I have my own ways to get stronger. Tran So chose the safe route. So he declined the deputy director position, but thanked the bureau chief for the offer. Kwan announced the notification from Nin Heap Special Office, congratulating the first evolved person registered in Nin Heap City, Luke Tran. So 21 years old, evolution level, 5 superhuman strength, fire flame, blood color, ranked number 1. Comments below were confused. Oh my god, a fake 5-star evolution so powerful. The highest elsewhere is only 3 stars. Still, Nin Heap City is top, our school's male god Tran. So, Sao Tian Hui read the info and started chatting. Hey bro, is that you? You're a 5-star evolved person, the top among the people. You have to protect this little brother from now on. On the other end, he chuckled. Oh really, General Lee? Haha. Putting down the phone, he thought to himself he had received too many calls today. Old classmates he hadn't seen for years contacted him to congratulate. Is this what it's like to be a celebrity in front of others? Haha, my ancient divine Kilin has grown 10 times bigger after swallowing the giant whale egg. The giant lizard's body length has reached 90 meters. My stamina has increased by 800 point strength, from 29 tons to 70 tons. He stretched out deeply on the chair, enjoying life. With an extra protective layer covering the body, I might even withstand an armor-piercing bullet. According to the evolved system, my overall strength should be at least level 7 or 8. Transo wondered aloud like a fool. Level 7 stars. Theoretically, that's the peak of fake awakening, but compared to 10 stars, there's still an absolute power gap. He used his strength in the peaceful world, even though it increased daily. Without a worthy opponent at this power, sadness showed in his eyes. He still couldn't suppress the emptiness inside. Tran So clenched his hands proudly at his current strength, but things were different now. The apocalypse is coming. Terrifying demonic creatures will destroy the space, invading reality. Evolved people appear one after another along with countless powerful awakened ones, including me, a fake, evolved even the Fighting God General. He humbly sent a message saying it was no big deal. He smirked. They were about to enter the arena too, saying that he stood up with determined eyes. Tioni Hin responded too. At this growth rate, soon I might rival the Fighting God General. I'll surpass him and become an even stronger existence. Then he recalled fighting a blue-eyed monster that chased him the other day. It could deduce the door location from where I disappeared, the door the monster chased after. Once the door closes, the next opening leads to a new world, and I have to explore again. His lips trembled slightly. Is this just a tough dungeon? Seems like I haven't even fought yet, but I've already secretly won. This feeling isn't bad. The system board appeared first, showing a violent windstorm with extreme heat, enough to kill all living things in a second. The system chimed again. Red flame negates high temperatures. At the same time, hot air surrounded Transo's shield. He was very proud. Thanks to Red Flame's protection, the hot wind even felt somewhat cool. The system explained further body energy is being eroded, but your physique has successfully resisted temporarily, countering the polluted energy erosion. Your antibodies can resist erosion for 15 hours. Hearing the time, he paused. 15 hours. Even with my physique, I can't fully resist polluted energy. He imagined the awakened Fighting God General completely ignoring pollution. He thought about fire-type awakened people and how insanely powerful they are. Whatever, he boldly headed to the hottest place on Earth. Time is tight. Let's see what this world has first. Transo closed his eyes to sense the aura, drawing multiple circles to feel around. Oh, no life aura, no demonic creature, aura completely a desolate world. He realized there was no sign of life here. Standing alone on the lava mountain was no surprise. This hellish world doesn't seem to produce any life. Then open the door again, kid. After all, the dungeon can be opened anytime. As he turned, something appeared. A lava monster flew straight at him. He dodged just in time. A monster gathered to face him, then quickly flew over with fierce, killing intent. System analyzed the demonic creature. Poison. Smoke level 3 difficulty. He found things quite interesting until he couldn't sense any demonic creatures. This world still had something unfinished. The demonic creature flew in to attack. Bam! Rammed straight into his shield. He silently analyzed the demonic creature before him. The sword pattern was fine. The creature wasn't a living being and absorbed energy with its hands. If it's a filthy demonic creature, only lightning can exorcise it. Evil retreat. The creature didn't stop and continued charging at him. Transo gathered his ultimate lightning skill, forming a massive energy ball in his palm. He lowered his body into a defensive stance, releasing the lightning at storm speed. The lightning beams, like steel arrows, aimed straight at the creature, causing it to scream in pain in the air. Aha! Its head burned dry and fell off in flakes. At the same time, the system announced, "You have killed a level 3 bizarre demonic creature, gaining 20 attribute points." Doubt flickered in his eyes. A level 3 bizarre demonic creature. Watching the last head of the creature dissolve, Tran so quietly analyzed its power factors. It didn't seem strong, but was immune to physical attacks, so martial aura couldn't harm it. Also probably because it was born in lava fire, attacks had no effect. He clenched his fists, with lightning sparks shining. Maybe I was lucky to have the skill to control it. Otherwise, the fight would have been very difficult. "Look out!" He heard footsteps approaching from behind. Tran so was startled and spun around. The little clown kept blaming the girl. "Heh, because you didn't listen. Didn't I tell you to stand outside the door?" Tran. So said worriedly, "Dangerous." The girl's stammering words touched his heart silently, thinking that leaving outside might not be safe either. Tran. So smiled despite his heavy heart, then gently rubbed the girl's head. "Here's the deal, you follow behind me. Stand a little far away and don't come close." Got it. After that, the little clown vanished like a fragile bone. Tran so blinked, unable to understand what just happened. He stood still, watching the power ahead, creating sound waves that grew stronger. Then the lava rock faces collided with each other. He hurriedly took a running start each step, pushing off lava rocks for higher bounce, causing the rocks to sink gradually. Transo nimbly jumped onto higher rock peaks, escaping the constantly moving lava just in time. Each step was lightning fast, jumping from side to side to reach the highest point. Every step was carefully calculated. At the highest rock peak, he stopped to observe the entire scene below. Each rock slab was stacked with lava chains attached. Looking closer, he saw some characters carved into the stones. His eyes lit up when he saw the demonic creature's barrier. Instead of a building, it looked like a seal or a prison. It could even completely hide the aura of a powerful great demonic creature. The real demonic creature beneath the barrier was a black dragon beast. He proudly stepped forward and said, "So the true reward of this world is you." This black dragon's name was Vanderfell Firewing. Its entire body was tightly bound by chains and stones. He didn't hesitate to approach, a real dragon. His eyes gazed far away, imagining the power to tame Vanderfell. He didn't even dare imagine how the red flame lightning and martial aura would explode after gaining countless attribute points. Vanderfell was angered by his words. "Foolish human, do you really think you can challenge me?" "Ridiculous indeed," Vanderfell glared at Transo. "This is my world." It stretched its massive body. "You're an intruder. If you've come before me and stare like that, I will generously give you 2 choices." Its blazing red eyes and sharp teeth made others tremble. Every word was firm, deciding fate. "First, I can bury you completely right here. Of course, no bones will be left. With my power, the other choice I gladly accept. Some newcomers, my 5 servants, just kneel here and praise Vanderfell's glory." His sword pulsed with life, and countless strands of cells spread out, glowing and swirling. At this moment, with him at the center, the entire ground was shattered, molten lava flowing out. He leaned back slightly, entering attack mode. Transo laughed contemptuously. He took a strong leap and swung his sword through the air. Vandon was tightly chained, limiting its movement speed, unable to dodge in time. The sword energy immediately slashed across it, cutting deep into flesh, fresh, golden blood flowing out. This made its anger explode. It clenched its teeth and spewed fiery flames from both sides of its mouth. "Now watch me send you straight to hell." Vandon took a deep breath, then laughed and breathed fire toward Transo. The Hellfire Dragon's flames affected the surrounding area, raising the temperature. He remained unshaken, holding his sword forward to block the fiery chains. Instantly, a protective circle enveloped him. The fiery chains split into 2 paths upon contact. Transo assessed coldly. "That's all you've got." Vandon didn't give up and sucked in more energy, preparing to attack again. Its eyes burned red with rage, turning into dust. "Give me a fire twice as big as before." It laughed triumphantly. "Ha ha ha." After a while, dust and smoke rose thickly. It arrogantly declared, In my world, no one can withstand my hellfire dragon breath, even for a second. Yet through the smoke, a figure appeared, voice calm, shattering Vanderfell's illusion. I thought you were stronger. Transo's figure fully appeared unharmed. He ran his hand through his hair, mocking, turns out it's just a bit stronger than a big hairdryer. It couldn't hide its shock. What quick reaction. It quickly gathered strength. This time, tired of waiting, he leapt swiftly as before, taking the initiative to attack. Transo spun in midair and kicked Van Donfeo hard on the chin. Its jaws slammed painfully. The Hellfire Dragon breath hadn't formed yet and exploded inside its mouth. The deafening sound echoed. He landed lightly, smiling confidently. I hold the superpower of fire plus the energy stance of the Emperor Demon Armor, so my fire resistance is full now. Vanderfell's power is like a mere itch to me. The heat from this dragon breath I barely need to notice. Hearing this, it stopped struggling stubbornly, so it can even resist my dragon breath. Its mood brightened. You're somewhat interesting. Turns out the earlier concession was just a feint. Van Donfeo suddenly lunged forward with all its strength, opening its mouth wide to bite Tran. So what if my sharp teeth tear you apart? The chains binding it couldn't withstand the force and broke. Its face, fierce, it bit hard. Unbeknownst to it, Tran. Soet appeared above, flipped several times, and landed on Van Donfeo's back. Transo seemed to dodge effortlessly. He plunged his sword deep into its flesh and dragged it from neck to body, fresh blood spraying everywhere. Suddenly, the sword blade hit some obstacle inside Van Donfeo's body and got stuck. So paused briefly, then decisively pulled the sword out and distanced himself. Its outer skin transformed. Seeing this, he understood the meaning behind its name. No wonder it's called Firewing. You can really turn it red. After finishing his words, an illusion appeared above Transo's head, and the energy surrounding him grew intense. But now is just your last struggling moment. His weapon radiated fierce energy flames, blazing from his body eyes, glowing red strange patterns spreading across his face. This is a new move I just grasped on the fiery wings of the Scarlet Flame Blood Fury. Van Donfeo furious shouted, "How dare you steal Lao Tzu's power, die?" Yet it missed again. Tran. So gripped the sword hilt with both hands, jumped high and struck hard. Its neck was instantly split in two. Van Donfeo's wings lost all resistance. Its head rolled wildly on the ground. Clack, clack, system notification. You have killed a level 5. Fire Dragon Demon Beast gained 500 attribute points. Tran. So carefully evaluated his battle loot teeth. Flesh of the fire dragon, even the hot molten blood were extraordinary materials. He silently calculated the profit. Just selling this head to the government could earn at least 100 million. But then he stroked his chin thoughtfully. There was one problem: how to explain its origin when selling this level 5 fire dragon head. If I say I killed it alone, wouldn't that reveal my level 6 or even level 7 power? Tran. So raised his hand gently. Hey, come down here, little clown. Deciding to keep it for now. Dragon meat might be delicious. System notification. Spent 200 attribute points to exchange for item storage space. Lights flashed, Van Donfeo's body dissolved, and the dragon head was absorbed. He sensed his body status, 400 attribute points enhanced. Observing requires clairvoyance ability to see hidden intelligence info. System voice continued. Enhancement, successful observation, gained high-level perception. Demon beast breath cannot be concealed, and immortals can also be observed. Transo decided to spend 400 attribute points to enhance weapon energy. The system delivered the result as he wished. Weapon enhancement successful. He smiled with satisfaction. Things didn't stop there. You have awakened the tyrant energy of the Three Kings. Explosive power emanates from Transo's body. The ground beneath cracked. He was suddenly a bit excited. So I even awakened the Three Kings. The small, swirling energy in his hand is the legendary tyrant energy of the Three Kings, which instinctively instills fear in people. Transo's joyful mood was clear on his face. This special tyrannical power can make people tremble and unable to move just by a glance. He closed his eyes and exhaled deeply. The tyrant energy of the Three Kings gradually dissipated. Using this to clean up riffraff is very useful. Just watch. He focused on controlling anti-gravity flight, a desire deeply ingrained in human genes. As long as I channel Thunderfire energy, I can fly up and down escaping gravity's pull. Transo's control improved steadily. Now he flew skillfully through the sky. Suddenly he noticed something hesitated briefly, then decided to speed toward the city ahead. His intuition told him many places in this world remained unexplored. His expression was serious. Even he thought Firewing, the world's master, hadn't fully sensed everything here. Transo flew while planning, thinking, after all, Firewing is just a demon dragon imprisoned here. Surely a stronger power than me is trying to imprison that dragon. I must go there to see what really happened. At the ruins of the giant kingdom, he took long steps on the stairs. The surroundings were ruined and desolate. The walls were carved with historical patterns over time, but some parts were destroyed and unclear. Tran. So observed and pondered, could a giant dragon civilization have existed here? Then, what could have made the giant dragons worship it? He frowned, considering all possibilities, dragon god, or true god. Then he turned his attention to the giant stone door ahead. It felt like entering would bring great danger, but how can you catch a tiger cub without entering the tiger's den? After a while, Transo swiftly moved along the path inside. On both sides stood dragon statues. He smirked, judging, compared to these Firewing, is just a little brother. System sounds kept alerting. Current energy pollution concentration is rising. Due to your strong physique, you are temporarily immune to corrosion from pollution. Energy pollution concentration is rising. After 3 hours, your immune system will weaken and be corroded by polluted energy. Everything was as Tran, so expected, but his intuition was right. Something unusual was inside this hall. Even before revealing its true form, it had demonstrated terrifying pollution power. He shouted provocatively, "Stop sneaking around, I know you're here." The empty space echoed back, "Stop sneaking around, I know you're here." Suddenly, Transo sensed abnormal energy and looked up startled. A beam of light suddenly descended from the sky before him. Transo raised his alertness, probing for someone. The creature that appeared had no definite face, humanoid with 4 arms. It spoke, "The Honored One awakens." With a sudden yet majestic appearance, the Honored One introduced itself and stood there for a long time. The patterns on its face shifted and flowed like waves. Tran so watched for a while, but showed no special reaction besides defense, unwilling to wait longer. The Honored One slowly raised its snake-like arm, then a dark energy burst out with a shout. "Eternity!" Facing that cold aura, Tran so realized this was no easy opponent. His sharp sword decisively stabbed into the hard ground. This dangerous moment lasted seconds. He nearly got blasted away endlessly. From his own feeling, Tran so guessed the Honored One he faced might be level 6. Suddenly, his sharp eyes narrowed tightly, contradicting himself. No, this guy is definitely a level 7 demon beast. While he was thinking, the Honored One didn't stop. Its hand move, even breathing sharply, determined to press harder to torment its prey. The demon ritual. Garment's move alone made Tran so feel a 1,000-pound weight, almost collapsing. Yet with strong will, this strike only fueled his fighting spirit. "Yeah, wanna catch me, demon? Tired of living?" Without wasting time, he tensed and roared loudly, shaking everything. Rocks and earth around scattered wildly from the aftershock. Following Transo's changes, the battle ended with a thunderous explosion shaking heaven and earth. Flames blazed deeply, matching his confident smirk. Now his whole body radiated overwhelming aura in the first blood fury form. However, even this wasn't enough to intimidate the Honored One, still ready to attack its facial patterns, forming a mocking smile. Insect. As it finished, a series of earth spikes shot toward the sole target, Tran So. But with his power knocking away this quantity over quality barrage was just a matter of time. In fact, he even developed the wind blade spin move at helicopter rotor speed. The incoming stones and bricks instantly became a joke. Of course, Tran So couldn't just stand there taking hits passively. A bold slash unstoppable. Within 5 seconds, the battle shifted multiple times, with the Honored One leading and declaring the end, not letting Transo counterattack. A fierce explosion erupted, reaching the sky above. Thick dust clouds like mist appeared after defeating the enemy. Just one breath was enough to make the Honored One, who had been jumping around, step back, feeling bone-chilling cold. Now it no longer had the arrogant composure it had at first. No matter how it tried to control the area to attack the outsider, Tran So simply blocked it. Tran So was so fierce now that no obstacle could slow his pace. Once again, the Honored One was split in two by his sharp blade before it could recover. Yet as usual, that was just a shadow taking the hit for it. Life never goes smoothly. Before he could catch his breath, Tran So was pierced, because he wasn't the type to bathe twice in the same river. Under my blood fury form, if your speed is still slow, then you must accept it. The Honored One affected everything around them. Its terrifying self-destruct blast even knocked away the item originally in Transo's hands. He regretted that no matter how hard it tried, it couldn't make him suffer at all. Weapons only slow down my attack efficiency. He declared this time, "Let me personally send you to heaven." He even boosted his energy and raised his fighting spirit to a new level. Although now the two had completely reversed roles, the Honored One was forced to activate the Supreme Shield. Sadly, the situation of retreating did not happen to it. With a powerful strike from him, Tonjia was hit so hard that he was stunned. Transo showed no mercy, standing tall, his strong punch hitting the ground, causing rocks and dust to scatter everywhere. Tonjia couldn't defend himself, enduring the fierce blows full of pain, then was blasted far away as if trying to reach the sky above. At this point, even his proud face was cracked and damaged beyond repair. Not stopping there, Tran so dashed straight at him with lightning speed. He had no intention of letting up or stopping, not even for a moment. He forcefully slammed into Tonjia's face, followed by a brutal headbutt that shook the solid ground violently. Water droplets spreading everywhere as if swallowing everything, ending with white dust covering the surroundings. Now, only Transo stood firmly in that spot. However, once again, it was not very surprising when the Tonjia managed to quickly retract and escape from his grasp, even wriggling free early and preparing to unleash the prison technique. It was only when it shouted that he was drawn to pay attention, startled, and quickly turned around. Suddenly, the earth and rocks beneath Transo's feet became so wet, they shattered, leaving no intact spot. From unexpected places, countless chains burst out from all directions, wrapping around his arms, legs, and body, even pinning his upper torso so tightly, there was no way to move. Now, Transo was no different than a version of Vanderfell trapped in a personal collection. A system notification immediately displayed all necessary information about the dragon's sealing formation. It could absorb the power of the object inside, and then amplify that power back into the seal. However, So was not afraid. He calmly posed a question with a confident tone. The more force you use, the harder it will be to escape these bindings. Is this how you bind ancient dragons and turn them into slaves? His hands clenched tightly, flames fiercely blazing. Unfortunately, you don't have enough strength to stop me. Those chains didn't affect this energy at all, but were suppressed by the continuous power radiating from Tran. So, his body tensed up strongly again, and the iron chains snapped instantly like mere toys. After breaking free from this formation, he didn't immediately attack, but slowly spoke. Listen carefully. A smirk showed the arrogance of a true emperor, master of the heavens. I am Transo. A terrifying breath continuously emanated from him. A strike that seemed the strongest still couldn't imprison the opponent, making the Tonjia jump in shock and even fall into a fearful state, wanting to quietly retreat and escape. Tran so felt neither surprise nor rush to capture the debtor. With every step he took, the ground cracked violently, fiery chains swirling behind him as if he was tearing the entire battlefield apart. Then his lower leg powered up again, and in an instant completely vanished into thin air, leaving the Tonjia stunned. At a terrifying speed like light, he appeared mid-air before the golden chain could even move. This time, Transo had lost all patience, grinding his teeth. Facing a deadly attack that could kill him at any moment, the Tonjia was stunned, unable to analyze the situation clearly. Too slow to regain composure, it took a powerful punch from Tran. So like a bomb. Not stopping there, he moved again, preparing for a second punch. The force from this hit was no less, sending the Tonjia flying like it was blasted by a cannon far beyond the aura of his fist. To prevent it from sneaking away or ambushing, he charged forward with full excitement, executing a crazy combo attack that left the Tonjia gritting its teeth, unable to do anything but endure. By now, cracks spread all over its body, no less than the ground of the Dragon and Giant Kingdom, which had been ravaged by the fierce aftershocks of battle. Then besides letting himself fall from the sky, Tran so exploded forward towards the Tonjia, unable to do anything more. Afterwards, he transformed into a lightning streak, tearing through the sky, descending upon the Tonjia like divine punishment. The impact spread, causing violent aftershocks throughout the area. Finally, as things settled, a dense white haze obscured the fading scene. Approaching closer, it was seen that Transo had left a huge bottomless crater in the vast land. But surprisingly, it wasn't the ground, but the Tonjia itself that bore the deep mark left by him after the fierce and dramatic battle. In the end, he had firmly grasped what prevented it from escaping, like before the power he took from it. Then a series of notifications kept sounding: Chain Flame Ascension upgraded to Liuli Chain Flame. Thunder Power Ascension upgraded to Thunderstorm Surge. Obtained Dragon Binding that can restrain monsters below level 6. But Transo seemed indifferent. His body and spirit were nearly exhausted when a warning popped up about excessive energy consumption. The level of demonic energy pollution rose to 99% at this moment. Rushing over with a worried tone, the pollution was dangerous to his whole body. Now dazed from the toll of fighting the Tonjia, the prolonged battle worsened the pollution. I can't stay in this world any longer. Tran saw, and he decisively flew straight toward the door named Dragon and Giant Kingdom. Beneath their feet, without the Tonjia's protection, the ground under him began to collapse. Exhausted body plus 99% pollution drained Transo's strength right before the exit door. Dust and smoke now thickly covered both his lying form and the surrounding scene. On the rubble, he lay flat in despair, no fighting spirit left like in the battle with the Tonjia. Once the door closes, it will sever the connection to that world. Cough, cough, cough. Who knows where the next portal will open? Facing this dire state, his prolonged groan made the girl anxious, but Tran So didn't complain and gently comforted her. He said it was okay. Great power always comes with a corresponding price. Yet inside, he kept pondering the true cause of his condition. If an ordinary person used it, even the first stage would make their entire bloodstream boil and evaporate on the spot, turning them into a dry corpse. The principle of the Scarlet Flame Blood Fury is simple and brutal, but only those with incredible physiques can activate it. Deep inside Tran, So had already ignited a rare will and resilience. So to break through to the third stage, he needed to further build up his physical strength. Then without further thought, he focused on the current issue since the teleportation gate was closed. Let's rest early. He obediently replied, Back at the ruins of Ka City, the current barrage was like rain, leaving no place untouched in the assault. Shouting in frustration at failing to catch the arsonist, the captain's calm, mixed with worry, was clear in every word from Set. The second wave of attacks still needs 6 more minutes. Hopefully these monsters won't escape. As he finished, Teza advised, Don't worry, considering these monsters have been eating their own kind continuously, until just now, there's been no other movement. Regarding this, he said nothing, but turned to question a teammate. What's the current pollution level, Michael? He checked the data. Current pollution level is 15.5. With a serious tone, he reported that based on their resistance, they could hold out for another 8 hours. Hearing this, Set was more satisfied than ever, even relaxing his face. 8 hours is enough to get this shipment back. Teza beside him was also excited, imagining the future. 7 level 5 monster corpses are worth a fortune. Even if the bodies aren't intact, they can still fetch a high price. In contrast to their excitement, Michael spoke solemnly. Calculating, for these main targets, we still have to cover the base's fire support costs. He glanced at the other two in the group and emphasized each word. If we still keep a third by then, that's already very good. But Jack wasn't too worried, raising his eyebrows with a general comment in the Long Kingdom style. You have to lose to gain. Watching the bombing rain still ongoing, Set didn't forget to remark and respond to Z's earlier words. Without fire support from the base, any intact level 5 monster would be enough to give you a beating. After seeing the battle with the polluted monsters quiet down along with the white mist, he immediately declared, Time to work. I'll handle that level 5 monster. These ones are enough to extract 5 vials of pure energy. Before leaving, he carefully assigned tasks with obvious instructions, not needing much thought. Michael quickly collect the monster corpses. We keep 3 vials to sell. Excitement spread across Z's calculating face. At black market prices, $20 million per vial is enough for us to enjoy for a while. What was supposed to be a simple hunt turned out to be a monster like the Tonjia appearing. This was clearly a masterpiece, born from the smaller monsters that had been devouring each other not long ago. This monster was even many times larger than the Tonjia, like a titan hybrid with tentacle beasts. Its mysterious presence was so unpredictable that Z immediately activated his psychic power. What is that? It didn't waste time explaining to the humans. Just lifting one step created a whirlwind that blew up all the dust here. Then with surprise and disbelief, Z watched the numbers on his device jump continuously, even surpassing Lam Aida. Pollution levels 1938, 97, 175 to 97, 531, while he was still wondering why it disdainfully sent his head flying, and the world instantly fell silent again. After a while, Z recovered and trembled uncontrollably, no longer confident as before. Ignoring his comrades in trouble, he clearly showed what it means to live or die by one's own will, and rushed forward in despair. Unfortunately, the distance Z thought was safe was just a mosquito bite to a giant monster like the Tonjia version 20. Not just one, but this time a pair of huge eyes like real ones. Without moving the tentacles around it just by a glance, were enough to distort Set right there. This earth-shaking event in Ka City caused the Apocalypse base of our country to immediately issue a warning, activating the highest level Apocalypse defense program for humanity's benefit and executing the threat elimination. Soon, missile warheads were launched into the vast space and fiercely descended on the mighty Tonjia, destroying everything that could be destroyed. Meanwhile, after the fierce and exciting battle, Tran So had long since fallen asleep on his beloved bed to play chess with Chukong. After an unknown length of sleep, Tran So finally frowned, stretched his solid body until sitting up, then stretched out with a refreshing sigh of relief. After preparing, he didn't forget to go to the next room and call the little clown. Time to get up for breakfast. Hearing the noise, he drowsily opened the door. Tran So hugged his cuter-than-cheese-strings little sister right in front of him. Besides a doting smile, what else could Tran So do? Without hesitation, he hugged her tightly as he requested, and even sighed, "You're really hopeless waking up too early." It seemed exhausting for the girl as soon she was dozing off on his broad shoulder. Just as he planned to carry her out for breakfast, the doorbell suddenly rang, catching Tran So's attention. A girl with the aura of a big sister stood waiting outside the villa. On her stylish jacket was a slogan: "Super fast food delivery, conquer your hunger." This person was none other than Huang Fu Tu Yan, calling inside, "Mr. Tran's takeout has arrived." As she finished, Tran So appeared with he in his arms, just in time. She showed no surprise or shock, but cheerfully asked, "You still haven't said anything until now." Before that, she glanced at the motorcycle beside her. After a quick assessment, he spoke with a tone of admiration and subtle probing. "This is the first time I've seen a beautiful woman riding a motorcycle worth millions." Delivering food early in the morning, Tu Yen naturally responded with a casual attitude. "Of course, I've never seen anyone living in a villa worth billions who orders takeout every day." The young father's overly knowledgeable remark about personal info immediately made Tran So laugh. "Beautiful lady, seems like you know me well, huh?" Not stopping there, even though she was a woman, he couldn't stop the fierce, killing aura dyed with fresh blood from rising early, shaking Tu Yen significantly. Her whole body trembled so much she couldn't utter a complete sentence. No wonder she was from Nin City, no wonder she was the country's top evolved person. Contrary to the terrifying expectation, her face suddenly flushed with excitement like meeting an idol. "Today, I finally met the real person." All her words and actions raised Tran So's inner alertness to a high level. This girl was very strange. He wasn't one to avoid things, so he said, "Tell me what's your purpose in approaching me." Unexpectedly, his words made her excited to a creepy degree. "Of course, to pursue you." This sudden shift surprised even Tran So, who had faced countless monsters. "What?" Instead of disbelief, Tu Yen straightforwardly expressed herself without hesitation. "You heard right. I want to pursue you." Though her delivery was a bit awkward, she didn't mind casting flirtatious glances and emphasizing each word. "Remember well, I'm Huang Fu Tu Yen living nearby. See you at the next order." As she left, another person arrived. It was unclear what Li Tiandue said to make Tran So scratch his head and reply, "Aren't you exaggerating? Don't we have the Special Operations Bureau in Nin City? If pollution appears, they definitely come first. But honestly, how can the Special Operations Bureau compare to Longe? You're not government, so you don't have to answer to anyone. Longe, you want to act, just do it." But he still remembers your sharp reasoning. "Longe, the most important thing here is which side you want to help." Now that things had reached this point, Tiandue gradually became serious. "Like, what do you mean by that?" Tiandue didn't hesitate to share all the information he had. "You probably don't know yet. Since your news spread yesterday, most of the villa owners around here changed hands this morning." His steady voice echoed here, as if commenting on the beautiful weather today, saying that because your good name spread far, land prices here have multiplied several times. All the wealthy people in Nin City are competing to move here. This isn't just a biased opinion. With a sharp business mind, they quickly sensed the opportunity. It seems like these people gathering here need your favor. In fact, this is your resource. Whether you want money or want to leverage relationships, if you confidently assert control, as if everything is in your hands, these people definitely won't refuse. The value of you being here at the Villa Tiandue emphasized is that you have to take action. What he mentioned made Tran So fall into deep thought. Resources, huh? Turns out the next sentence officially clears all doubts about Tiandu's appearance at this moment. Everyone here is a business person, so they all want to save face. They want to invite you to eat, but fear that suddenly knocking on your door might upset you, so they asked me to come here. He didn't overthink it and nodded in agreement. You can come and get a satisfactory answer, which made Tiandu very happy, and he didn't forget to give thorough advice. "Definitely my little brother will wait for you at Lam Tuan's 3-Ton Hotel at noon. No meeting, no leaving. Just as he was about to turn and leave, Tiandue suddenly remembered something. Oh right, my younger brother seems to have just seen Huang Fu Tu Yen. You two know each other, Tran. So honestly replied with a doubtful tone, I don't know that girl. She just ran up and said she wanted to pursue me. Then Tiandue pondered and gave an objective assessment. She's very bossy, always has been since she was young. No matter what it is, once she sees it, she must get it by all means. His expression darkened with tension as he warned, she's targeting you. You must be careful from now on. Tiandue's voice grew heavy when mentioning what came next, because behind her is Huang Fu Tai, the richest man in all of Nin City. The phone screen now showed a message dated April 25th, Lunar October 28th. Latest news from pollution sources in another world country, Z, has mobilized its strongest armed forces. Pollution has lessened and social order has been restored. The news on TV was also broadcasting hot updates. A village in country Y was invaded by pollution monsters with casualties reaching hundreds. At a temple in country L, a woman was buried alive by a monk. Bones affected by pollution turned into vengeful ghosts, killing 20 people in the temple and sending them to the western heaven. Everyone passing by gathered to listen attentively. Country Z has outlined an apocalypse response strategy before 2025, building a complete defense system and resource reserves nationwide. It is now the safest country in the world. The global situation is deteriorating rapidly, and signs of the apocalypse are becoming clearer. The wealthy and powerful from all over the world are rushing to Country Z to seek refuge. Border ports are overloaded, and there are even black market refugee visa deals at sky-high prices. After a series of shocking news falling from the sky, the peaceful scene at Nin Tan Fu University suddenly appeared before Tian Tian. She was currently wearing headphones focusing on silently reciting foreign vocabulary from the Elite for All textbooks. Tiao Mo at the desk above suddenly looked down and said to her, Tian, tell me, has the apocalypse really come to us? Then what's the point of risking our lives studying like this? She sighed in frustration and rambled. Should I find a job at a multinational corporation after graduation or go abroad and become a translator? But in the current situation, not to mention multinational companies, we don't even know if any foreigners are still alive. It's better to find a local capable man and marry him first. Faced with such pessimistic words, Tian Tian quietly removed her headphones. The image of Tran so suddenly appeared clearly in her mind. Tran, so a 5-star awakened possessing extraordinary power controlling fire flame. His name is very famous on the internet, even more so than some top awakened stars. She rested her chin on her hand full of thought as she thought of him. Thousands of comments about him appeared on major social media forums, but as more people followed, doubts would also arise sooner or later, becoming an easy target of public opinion waves. Suddenly, Tiao Mo seemed to understand what her friend was thinking and asked a very direct question. Oh, right, how's it going with your super-level boyfriend? A corner of her mouth curled into a mischievous smile, her index fingers lightly touching each other suggestively. Have you two slept together yet? Making Tian Tian blush all the way to her ears. She silently considered the guy's strength, powerful, incredibly talented, and good-looking. The image of Tran So, playing the boyfriend standing next to a stunning beauty, was truly a perfect match, flawless in every way. Tran So was officially her boyfriend at Lin University. But that very fact made Tian Tian doubt herself and fall into deep thought. Do I really have feelings for him? Speaking of Tao 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 Tao, appeared on the phone screen as she suddenly received a call from Tran So. Tian Tian shyly stood up from her seat to answer the phone. Tiao Mo took the chance to tease, grinning and waving her hand to urge, go on. In the hallway outside the classroom, she politely asked the senior, Are you looking for me? Tran So seemed to have just finished working out tidying his clothes while answering. There's a Rise restaurant. Do you have time? Let's go on a trip. Hearing this, Tian Tian was happy and immediately replied honestly, without hesitation. Yes, I have time. The other end was very pleased and responded. That's good. The scene shifted to a luxurious villa in Sonna, Huangjin, with a prominent 3-tier fountain in front and a motorcycle parked beside it. Everything was neatly within a large green compound. There, a man's back suddenly spoke as Tu Yen approached. Have you met him yet? She casually threw the sleek black helmet onto the nearby motorcycle. Already met none other than Huang Fu Tai, known as the richest businessman in Nin City, and he happens to be very interested in Tran. So, What kind of person is he? Tu Yan tied her hair into a neat bun and quickly revealed he knows I'm investigating him. That serious expression was very oppressive. Memories of that terrifying meeting flashed through her mind. At that time he was holding little He like a royal figure. Fu Thai leisurely poured a cup of tea. Ha ha ha, it seems your father's investment was right, huh? He's so strong, isn't he, enough to move your heart? Then Tu Yan sincerely advised based on personal experience. But if Dad wants to use thousands or hundreds of millions to attract him, that probably won't work. However, he didn't care and instead made very subjective remarks. After all, Tran, so is just a young man in his early 20s. How could a seasoned businessman like Dad not be able to handle him? She immediately bent over, hands on the table, lowering her voice as much as possible. The world is very different now, Dad. Your money can't solve everything, but strength can. Hearing this, even Fu Thai couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. You just went on a trip. Are you serious? What did you say to him? Tu Yan chose to answer vaguely, I'm pursuing him not for Dad, nor do I expect anything from him. This unintentionally sparked his interest. Oh, really? She then openly expressed her feelings. New love always shines like flowers and leaves. I'm just watching him. He found it hard to believe and began stammering, Are you serious? Love. The handsome face of Tran. So appeared clearly again in Tu Yan's mind, along with a firm statement. Of course I'm serious. After all these years, he's the first man to move me. Realizing the conversation was going too far, Fu Tai slammed his hand on the table to get back to the main point. Now not just Nin City, but even nearby cities. H&S, all the most powerful families are targeting him. I know very well the tricks those people use to lure others, money, women, and power. As long as he still has greed, desire, and the human urge to control those people can completely defeat him, forcing him to kneel and beg to join them. His question showed no trust in Tu Yan standing before him, even a bit of challenge. Daughter, how can you compete with them if you think like this? However, the fire of determination in her heart blazed brightly. What, like I said, to win a man's heart, you first have to win his stomach. Fu Tai somewhat agreed with that view. That's not wrong. Wait, so you plan to learn cooking? Tu Yan's sudden drastic change made him fall into deep thought. His daughter was once known as crazy, but now she's attracted to a man and even decided to become a housewife. Is that so? But he could still see the benefits, a slight smirk of satisfaction appearing. Plus her great looks and figure, maybe she really can win over Tran, so... The idea of self-reliance was immediately rejected by Tu Yan. I won't learn to cook because the kitchen in the old house has been destroyed many times, so I decided not to touch those things anymore. But Fu Thai didn't try to deny it. So, what do you plan to do? She suddenly turned around, revealing the flashy words, "Conquer your hunger," on the back of her shirt, even clearly declaring I'll be the only one delivering meals to him. Earlier, I registered a food delivery account under his grandmother's name. Now, it's like choking on something hard to swallow. What? The heir of the Pu family delivering food. Cough, cough, cough. Tu Yan's expression instantly became top-tier proud, to the point that Trung Quy could only blame it on her crush. No matter where he rented before, whether a warehouse, dock, or villas around the mountain, she confidently listed without hesitation, as long as it wasn't in the city. When eating, he orders takeout. Even for breakfast, he orders delivery. She must be from Haiphong to like such a roundabout way. I used his phone to install the app. I'll order food. As soon as he places an order, I'll know first and personally deliver it to him. Fu Thai seemed about to have a stroke, anytime coughing up food, the unfilial child, ignoring his poor old father, clutching his chest in pain. Over there, Tu Yan proudly concluded with arrogance. Soon he'll be moved by this little lady's sincerity. Tran. So sat resting his chin on the window frame of a luxury supercar. The morning sunlight shone on his sharp sculpted face, highlighting his calm and unmatched aura. At the west gate of Nin University, people started whispering, That's Senior Tran's car. It must be his. A female student nearby couldn't hide her envy of Tien. Tien slowly walking over. Oh, if only I were the one Senior Tran was picking up. Tran. So kindly invited. Get in. She agreed immediately without hesitation. Yes, sir. In the distance, Tong Ven watched the parked car and sighed in frustration. Compared to him, we're just useless. But Fan Hao beside him objected indignantly. Team leader, what you said boosts others' morale, but destroys our own prestige. We're all evolved people, so why can't our hero team catch up to him? He basically doesn't rate the all-around Tran so highly. Isn't he just the first to break through 5 stars? Then he kept emphasizing their group's superiority. According to the department head, the three of us are elites, chosen from tens of thousands in Nin City, that wild seed Tran. So is just extremely lucky. How can he compare to us? Fan Hao even nudged his brother Ban Luan, who was lost in his own world. Right? Gentlemen, he only gave a brief reply because he was busy admiring the fully equipped electrical girl in front. Right, exactly. Our talent is not inferior. He's not inferior at all. His hand had already grabbed his phone ready to approach and make acquaintances in all sorts of ways. Oh, that female student was really beautiful. But then Fan Hao swung his hand and slapped hard to crush all illusions. Ha! Hoyan Luan, don't let love affairs cloud your judgment. Snap out of it. His grudge against Tran. So seemed more than just social dislike. As long as Transo stays arrogant one more day, those girls will only pay attention to him. Our top priority is to become stronger quickly. We have to become more formidable than him. Ban Luan suddenly remembered their female friend and shyly asked for opinions. What do you guys think? Should we tell Lam Nuok? Nah, what we just saw. It seems like Transo is with another girl. Fan Hao lightly tapped his friend's shoulder in consolation. I know you like Lam Nuok Nha, but she's currently into Tran. So, he skillfully used the right words to encourage his friend. You can compete fairly with him. Even if you fail in pursuit, you're still a real man. His eyes instantly sharpened like a razor, yet his mind remained clear as always. But if it's about talking behind someone's back like this, that's not the behavior of a hero. Back to the situation by Transo's speeding car. Tien. Tien suddenly brought up a serious topic. Senior, the second apocalypse impact is in half a month. Her face showed clear hesitation, mixed with worry. What if many monsters appear that the Special Operations Bureau can't stop? Will you step in? Even Tran so found it very puzzling. Why ask that all of a sudden? Now Tien hesitantly revealed the whole story, which was heavy to bear. Recently, there have been many negative comments online about you saying you're cowardly. That's right. Are you surprised by this information? I've heard of you for a long time, Tran Kong Tu. Before coming here, my dog already told me about Tran Kong Tu. Young people don't like beating around the bush, like in Haiphong. So they quickly got to the main point. Just keep it brief. Li Tan Hong understood immediately and directly discussed the big matter without any formality. Then I won't beat around the bush. To increase safety before the upcoming apocalypse impact, we decided to establish a safety council and invited Tran Kong Tu to be the chairman. Since then, this novelty invisibly attracted Transo's attention. He immediately explained the safety council in detail, of course, only to protect old guys like us and safeguard the area around the mountain villa from polluted monsters. Then they offered a very favorable negotiation price to the other party. Naturally, as the protected party each month, they would pay Tran Kong Tu a 100 million salary. Even Tien couldn't hide her extraordinary surprise. What? You can earn at least 100 million a month. Tran so then admitted the 100 million. At first glance, the offer sounded attractive, but he wasn't an easy person to fool. But 100 million to protect the residents of the mountain villa, that's the price all the wealthy guys mentioned. Without hesitation, he exposed the flaw in this cooperation. Is that the membership fee for the safety council you're charging about 30 wealthy families living in villas around the mountain? Divided evenly, that's only 1,000 per house, or 1 million. And Tran so continued pressing. I don't even know how much you plan to charge them to join the council. 10 million or 100 million? Tan Hong was sweating nervously at his sharp reasoning. No matter how you look at it, this is definitely a profitable business, right? Seeing they were a bit stuck, Fu Tai chose to leave the decision freedom to Tran Kong Tu. Tran Kong Tu felt more enthusiastic the deeper the analysis went. In peacetime, these guys were wealthy, traveling in luxury cars with many subordinates. Even if something happened, they could easily solve it with money, so they always acted a bit superior, occasionally raising their heads at the foot of the mountain. His eyes weren't just observing, but held a world of thought. The result is that when the apocalypse comes, you'll revert to your original form in no time. You're all threatened by those polluted monsters with no difference at all. So slowly bend down provocatively, just at eye level with Fu Tai opposite him. People will no longer be distinguished by wealth. This will make lifelong earners like you very unwilling. He confidently concluded, and I understand your petty thoughts best. Tan Hong, silent since the start, came up with a rebuttal. Who's old? Isn't this because of the spatial crack that appeared a few nights ago? The government used tactical nuclear weapons to push back the monsters. As long as Tran Kong Tu agrees 200 million, even 200 million, we can pay. His gaze suddenly turned to Fu Tai, who sat with crossed arms, asking the old man's opinion. We just want to sleep peacefully at night. Am I right, old Tai? He calmly explained every detail. Old Lee, your son, Lee Dongwon, is in the special bureau, right? You understand best the efficiency of those breadwinners. If they were trustworthy, we wouldn't be gathered here. After speaking, he raised 3 fingers to indicate an estimated salary of 300 million a month for the Safety Council chairman. Indeed, the older the ginger, the spicier. Fu Tai immediately struck with a preemptive move. If Tran Kong Tu agrees, I can add 100 million. A hand waved a 100 bill arrogantly in the air. Money will become worthless in less than 5 seconds. The bill instantly burned to ashes by heat rays activated by Tran So. After a few more impacts, I'm afraid the money in your hands won't even be enough to start a fire. Tian Tian was so shocked by the scene, she was speechless. The most excited was still Li Tanhong. What Tran Kong Tu, you mean after the second impact in half a month, money will turn to paper? He hurriedly verified the info on his phone with a doubtful look. Life doesn't add up. Government news said the apocalypse impact level is only moderate. Tran So strolled leisurely across the room, casually passing by Tian Tian. You guys still haven't seen the truth of this apocalypse. Government reports show their response to the apocalypse impact seems only for ordinary evolved people, right? Li Tanehong now seemed too exhausted to argue as the harsh truth unfolded, saying that he looked out the window at a helicopter patrolling the blue sky and decided to educate the outdated old generation a bit. Guess why the Special Operations Bureau didn't even send out a 4-star awakened person? Because the government's main force is suppressing the 5 apocalypse gates. Tran so confidently asserted, even reversing the question for them to answer. The main battlefield isn't here. How can the government protect you if they can't even carry their own weight? Huang Futai suddenly slammed his hand on the table, feeling trapped. Clearly this isn't simple. As they naively thought, he asked, so what exactly do you want to agree? To show my free and easy mindset, I don't need money. Even Li Nam, quietly listening from the start, was startled by his next words. But needing special concrete from Nine Long Real Estate was something Li Tanhong never expected. He then officially revealed his true intention. The drug is patented by Bach Thai Special Metals from Lam Thien Haivan. The others also broke out in cold sweat at his fierce momentum. From all collected data, Tran so directly proposed within 3 days, I want to see the fortress design around the mountain, and within a month, I want a super shelter completed. Li Tanhong's brain couldn't process it immediately. What did you say? When was the fortress design for the mountain made? The mountain villa will become a fortress. But just a second later, realizing the truth, his face darkened. Fortress! He calmly explained further based on the existing terrain map using the mountain villa as the center, leveraging the mountain's terrain to build a super fortress. Even if a global event happens, it can help people live inside for many years. Must ensure ventilation, phone space, clean water, enough food, and medicine. Finally, he firmly concluded, after meeting my requirements, I will take the role of Security Council Chairman and promise to provide protection for you. As Tran So's passionate presentation ended, countless applause and enthusiastic praise erupted. No wonder he's the strongest of the new era nationwide. His strength and tactics are terrifying. Even Huang Futai, who used to look down on young men, had to admit his far-sighted vision surpasses ordinary people. Only Tian Tian quietly stood aside the entire time, trying to suppress her growing admiration for his overwhelming presence and sharp intellect. Shortly after, they watched the veteran businessman's cars leave. Just then, they met Li Xiandu outside. That impressive younger brother, those old men, including my father, were all won over by his words. This is a mutually beneficial plan with no losers. He took the chance to proudly show a gold card clutched between 2 fingers. So, little brother, this hotel is partly owned by my father. Without hesitation, he handed it to Tran, so standing a bit away. So today, you two can enjoy yourselves. I have some things to do. First, won't disturb your fun. Only brothers truly understand each other. Hearing that, he was a bit startled, excitement rising inside. Little sister, I happen to have something to tell you. If Libro is hosting today, then we shouldn't waste his goodwill. This made Tian Tian so shy, she started stammering, her face turning bright red like a ripe tomato. Yes, Senior, that's not it. The scene shifted to a towering skyscraper under the blue sky. Below was a cafe with a large balcony where a few people strolled leisurely. Tran So decisively took off his black coat, then casually tossed it onto the floor. He and Tian Tian were now in a luxurious presidential room, soundproofed and shielded from any signals or surveillance. She anxiously asked again to confirm if he was moving too fast. But his heart seemed decided long ago. Only a family head can care. Let me make you my woman. Tran So's eyes darkened as he stared at the red blinking light on his finger. Because Thien Thien is an ordinary person, energy navigation in her body must be very careful. After all, I'm a superhuman with a body 4,000 to 5,000 times stronger than normal. He gently moved toward Thien Thien's slender still neck, waiting for whatever was about to happen before feeling the possessiveness. He was already being possessive with someone else's daughter. As a result, a huge amount of vital energy spread continuously and countless red veins appeared densely all over her body. A slight mistake could crush a normal person's body. After finishing the test, Tran so carefully arranged for Thien Thien to rest on a pristine white bed. He was very kind. Tujo Thien Thien's body was merging with that power. Miraculous changes were also happening inside her body. He observed carefully while silently calculating. If no pollution or mutation appeared, the fusion effect would be visible tomorrow. Then Tran. So went to the kitchen to pour a glass of wine to relax. I used the dragon seal to transfer part of the monster power I devoured. When the seed is released into ordinary people, it will promote their evolution. The corner of his mouth slightly lifted into a very satisfied smile. Although it's a bit dangerous, I will help Tujo Thien Thien become an evolved person. 1 hour earlier, he was leisurely resting on the bed discussing the future with Thien Thien beside him. Facing the world, you can only get stronger in this atmosphere. You basically don't need to go to college. She couldn't hide the confusion on her face. Senior, if I don't read books, what else can I do? When facing an attack from a monster isn't the best thing, just to stay as far away as possible. Tran. So doesn't like beating around the bush, so he asked directly. Relying on others is not as good as relying on yourself. Thien, do you want to become an evolved person? That made Thien Thien even more surprised than usual. Huh, senior, you mean I can become an evolved person too? I want to. Of course I want. He slowly explained the process in detail. I can use the dragon seal to remove some monster power, then condense it into a crystal. Then you can receive the corresponding evolution energy. However, heaven is cruel but fair, so everything comes with a price. This monster power, if you can't control it, is very dangerous. Therefore, before starting, I warned her without hesitation that the result might not only be failure to evolve, but also mutation into a dangerous monster. Do you dare to follow this? Thien Thien remained completely silent for about 5 seconds, processing the overwhelming information. She suddenly lowered her head, her heart heavy with indescribable feelings. If it's you doing this personally, I wouldn't be afraid at all. I also want to become someone who can be independent, someone who can stand up to protect my mom in times of danger. The memory of my dear old mother's figure in her warm embrace suddenly comes vividly to mind. Thinking of that Thien Thien's face instantly lit up with a pure determination, always ready to help her senior. Absolutely will not become an obstacle. Tran. So was extremely pleased with that firm declaration. Good. He didn't forget to remind her a bit. Don't struggle too much, this is my first time, I mean with the ceiling, so I might miss the spot. She immediately retorted indignantly. It's also my first time. The high-rise building collapsed in the city, sending dust clouds everywhere, blocking all views. The background music and vivid sounds played as the smoke cleared, revealing the powerhouse Jian Long, a 4-star evolved being with a steel body and unyielding will. Every strike is a punishment for evil. Every appearance makes enemies tremble. Let's cheer him on and witness a legend being written on the battlefield. A hand with black-painted nails gently stroked the phone screen. Mr. Tran here is the short video we made for you. He is currently a big star on our short video platform with 8 million fans. She continued switching to another video. Also, there's the 5-star captain of the Kinhai Special Agency. Quite shocking, right? Vuong Man with a stooped posture stood next to Tran. So, these online celebrities can earn millions just by live streaming. Very simple, right? Hello, Mr. Tran. He looked at them with a cloudy gaze, like an old man who doesn't understand technology. Are all these videos made with special effects? She gave a forced smile and explained, absolutely not, Mr. Tran. Our audio app can only open beauty mode and special effects with just one click. It can automatically coordinate with the user's abilities to enhance special effects and make the moves stronger. Transo frowned, trying to digest Vongman's technical info, because all short video platforms actively promote evolved beings to boost public trust. So we've signed contracts with many specialized agencies and civilian evolved beings. In the past few days, she leaned in sweetly, trying to persuade him. Mr. Tran, you're a super online celebrity that we especially want to sign a contract with. After all, you are the first officially recognized new generation evolved being. Then she went on and on, listing attractive benefits. Just show off your power a bit, then add our makeup and promotion, and your fame will definitely explode. By then, you won't have to worry about not gaining trust anymore. Would you like to watch these confirmation videos first? It only takes 3 minutes for you to evolve from 996 to 7. Just eat and level up. The explosion didn't stop there. The hot-selling item was shoes from Bobo. To scarier than rent hikes in the concrete jungle apocalypse. You don't need to shave calves, just shoes with quantum exo soles. Sounds fast already. Actually made from recycled plastic, but don't look too closely. The shoes will help you dodge, boss dodge, office drama. The ads get more and more unreal. Mazda, absolute defense, ultimate gear for love in the apocalypse, made from nano-grade bulletproof material. You know, it not only stops real bullets, but also blocks gossip bullets, emotional bullets, and even biological need bullets. Especially, it's a shield for dignity armor against drama, an SSR item to help you survive COVID at the same time. Wong Man painted a rosy future for Transo. Mr. Tran, as long as you agree to start live streaming on our platform, becoming a popular host of Mayo Am, the conditions are up to you. Soft ads, hard ads, you can choose freely. Unfortunately, he was still very clear-headed. I'm not a star, where do my fans come from? She pretended to be surprised, Mr. Tran, don't you know how famous you are nationwide right now? She tried to follow him, saying that just with your handsome face, a perfect face, without any flaws, countless female fans are lining up crying for you. Wong Man was very confident, just by showing your face to fans. She deliberately provoked him. Don't you want to know who your fans are? Hearing this, Tran. So paused briefly, but he still kept his reason until the last moment. Sorry, I'm not interested. Transo turned his back and ordered the secretary to see her out. She immediately stepped forward with a polite smile, actually gently pushing the department head out. Vuong, this way please. Vuong Man refused to give up 100,000 1 years of advertising fees. All Mr. Tran needs to do is shoot a promotional video. He began to lose patience, his attitude also annoyed as he saw her off. She hissed like a snake. We need a real hero. Only you can do this. Not sure what hit a nerve with Transo. He stopped for a moment. Wong Man saw an opportunity and hurried to push the sale. Hook, the superhero from Country Mo, can instantly transform into a 5-meter-tall green giant ape. After transforming, he's incredibly strong, unbeatable, with a powerful charge at 100 meters per second, easily destroying a tank. She concluded with a longing tone. He has become a god in the hearts of the people of Country Mo. Then she introduced another, the Royal Guard, captain of Country Y, a superhero named Alexander. His left hand can transform into King Ian Ibor Vijeo's sword, cutting a warship in half with one move. He has reached 500 million views and is nicknamed the Ship-Slicing Sword, a godly general protecting Country Y. Vuong Man kept giving examples. Country F can turn into a fire person, and Country D can freeze air into solid nitrogen. Country Y has a mutant who can jump between skyscrapers like rubber and can also become invisible. She attacked Transo's psychological weak point. Ordinary people face harsh apocalypse conditions, always filled with fear and anxiety. They need a real hero. She raised her voice dramatically. A hero who can make them feel safe and brings them hope. Wong Man put on a patriotic pose. Hooch from Country Mo, Alexander from Country Y. They've become symbols of their countries. We also desperately need a hero like that. After hearing all these heartfelt arguments, he was somewhat moved. Expanding influence is also good, especially now when there are many negative opinions about him online. So he decided to leave if it was live streaming, but shooting a video could be considered. Vuong Man was overjoyed, almost crying tears of joy. Really. On a night under the crescent moon, Tran so held his sword proudly standing on the rooftop. He decisively jumped down without hesitation. His moves were like flowing clouds and water, every sword stroke precise and critical. Like that, he was performing a deadly dance. Transo's expression was cold, looking down on enemies like worms and ants. A true hero is not someone who flaunts power, but someone who protects all lives. Usually, the sword in his hand lightly swept and took the monster's life. Tran. So the first of the new evolution generation is a protector, a fearless man, a legend. This authentic video made viewers exclaim a rude phrase, "Holy crap. Are we all in an apocalypse game? How do they expect us evolved beings to react?" At the special branch of CDN, the hero team gathered chatting excitedly. The special effects are really strong. Look, the sword aura is even off. Anyone can tell this is a video without special effects, and the original was exaggerated. Damn, Kwanjuk calmly judged this guy named Tran, so definitely has strength beyond 5 stars. Right now, he's completely a class-awakened being. It seems the gap between us and him is getting wider. In some village, a group of people dressed as black Taoist priests appeared and disappeared in the mist. On the cliff, a spatial gate was trembling. Isamu warmly greeted bowing to Zanami the Great. As soon as he finished, the old man slowly stepped out of the gate. He glanced at the shadowy figure behind him. Zanami's figure gradually became clear. Isamu turned pale with fear, his back bent, bowing to Jiamimi the Great. Her solemn voice asked clearly, "Are you sure you found the offspring of an ancient giant beast?" The old man reported, "Great One, the beast currently appears near our Country M's sea, but actually, Country M discovered it earlier than us. According to international custom giant beast resources belong to all humanity. Whoever discovers it has priority rights to exploit. We are the later discoverers, so we can only take up to 30% of the giant beast's resources." She arrogantly tossed her head and declared, "International customs my ass. If we can kill the giant beast first and control its entire territory, then the division will naturally be decided by me." The submarine's propeller churned, creating bubbles. It headed toward a cave inside the cliff. After confirming the location, the submarine stopped. The bottom door opened, releasing a team of 5 equipped with diving gear. This was the Bow Sedan Assault Squad of the country. Her cousin shone a flashlight everywhere, searching for something underwater. Traces caught their attention. There are really big footprints here. Suddenly someone shouted, "Captain, there's a 20-meter wide skull of a giant whale beast." 2 others hurried over and witnessed a shocking scene. They immediately checked the energy source. A red light flashed from the radiation meter at 465 points. Their guess was confirmed correct. That's the location of the abnormal radiation source. A shadow flickered past the cave entrance, startling him. He felt uneasy and anxious. "Did you hear anything?" the nearby team asked. "Hear what?" His face turned pale. Even though they were in the cold seabed, sweat poured like rain. "Wait, something's wrong with this machine. Radiation levels keep rising. 88, 125, 459. Still increasing." They all froze. 1,000 students. Radiation this strong only happens very close to a nuclear reactor. The ancient Kirin sword hid in the shadows, watching the intruders. Their hearts pounded, showing fear. Watch 1,500. What the hell? At the haunted house in Kwanjuk Amusement Park, Onam angrily questioned staff. "Someone went missing here the other day. Why didn't you call the police immediately?" Though tense, Aonam remained calm. As Bien Min explained, they had arranged a few people to search nearby since it hadn't been 24 hours yet. "I thought it was just a lost tourist," but then he slammed the book shut with force, making Onam jump like his heart would explode. Kwanjuk's gloomy gaze exposed, "I see you're afraid the incident will hurt business, so you deliberately didn't report it, right?" Onam's face went pale, sweat drenched his suit. About this." Kwanjuk waved his hand. "With the current situation, plus 3 missing this afternoon, 1 yesterday, and 1 the day before, your haunted room has swallowed 5 people. It's likely an apocalypse-level crisis. The Special Operations Bureau officially takes over. Unrelated people stay away." The hero team marched behind Kwanjuk, full of fighting spirit. Ban Luan criticized Onam for blocking the way and pushed him aside. Fan Hao raised his hand to check. "Strange, the sensor only shows polluted energy, but why is there no reaction after entering?" Tong Ven logically deduced, "In this case, the target is likely a demon. Only inside its rule domain does the pollution energy accumulate." He suddenly stopped, startled. Is this themed room on the manager's provided route map? They carefully observed the surroundings, falling talismans, adding to the fear. A shadow suddenly flashed by, leaving an afterimage that caught Fan Hao's attention. A fierce-looking hanging doll was in front of him. He startled and panicked, stabbing it hard with his spear while stepping back to create distance. The doll immediately split into pieces, its head rolling on the ground. Minigok laughed in surprise. "That's just a prop to scare people. Is it worth freaking out like that?" Fan Hao thought I was about to die. Dongfeng checked the sensor and announced, "We're close to the pollution source." Almost as soon as he finished, a big explosion happened. Rocks were blasted everywhere. Ban Luan reacted first, raising his shield carefully. A demon with bulging muscles appeared through the smoke. A sharp saw blade scraped against his shield. He gathered strength and swung his arm, knocking it back. Tongwen's pupils turned bright red. He was extremely shocked. A 3-star demon beast, an energy-enhanced, defense-enhanced type. It also has super regeneration abilities. Its weakness is... Before he could finish, Fan Hao blindly and foolishly charged straight at its heart. "Even if it swallowed 5 living people and became tough as nails, it can't stop my super weapon." Tongwen's mouth twitched as he slowly added, "Its weakness is the head." Hearing this, Fan Hao froze on the spot, turning stiffly. Dongvan woke up and stepped forward, wanting to scold his dumb teammate. The weakness is the head. You stabbed the head, you idiot. Fan Hao looked like a puppet trying to retract his weapon, but failed. At that moment, a sharp gunshot echoed. The bullet pierced the demon's head while it was still stunned. Mi Engok looked cool, blowing the gun barrel, arrogantly playing with the gun, and disdainfully commenting, "A 3-star demon beast. Seems not that impressive." "Yeah, one bullet and it's done." Fan Hao pouted in dissatisfaction. "Yeah, he wasn't willing to take credit because my spear limited its movement. Otherwise, how could your bullet have ended up in its head?" Tongvan calmly resolved the conflict. "All right, we're a team, and this is the result of everyone's combined effort." He raised his voice to command, "Check around. If there's no other contamination, we'll head back and report to the hero squad captain. Gather up everyone with a distracted look doing their own thing." Bang Luan reluctantly stepped up to take the heat. Captain Quan Duc crossed his arms, foot resting on a steel box, evaluating their teamwork. "There's a serious problem here." His face darkened as he questioned. "Fan, how? Why did you act on your own without waiting for the team leader's orders? Do you think your judgment is better than Lai Tongvan's?" Fan Hao whispered with a smirk, not without Tongvan. He glanced coldly at him, still holding a grudge from earlier. Suddenly, Quan Duc called roll-making Tongvan flinch and shrink back. "Lai Tongvan, although you're responsible for command and intelligence scouting, why did you just stand there with your arms crossed at such a critical moment?" Quan Duc pointed at him straightforwardly, lecturing. "Remember, you're not just the brain of the team, you're also a warrior. If you always see yourself as an outsider, it only causes your teammates' sacrifices to be in vain." Tongvan slightly lifted his glasses, his face sorrowful, as he admitted, I was wrong, Captain Quan. I will provide timely support." Quan Duc moved on to another member, Bang Luan, who are you protecting with your shield? "Answer me quickly." He looked confused, stammering, "Protecting teammates." He pointed at Nuokna, retorting, "Is your teammate only Lam Nuokna?" Hearing that, she blushed deeply with embarrassment. Quan Duc scolded, "Cut it out. No mercy on the battlefield. Get rid of those selfish thoughts immediately. You must focus on protecting every teammate." Quan Duc spread his legs and looked at the female members of the squad, clearing his throat. "And you 2-1 acts recklessly, not even maintaining basic vigilance." Nuokna bit her lip, too shy to face him. Mi Engok puffed her cheeks, sulking at being scolded. The other one, Quan Duc's entire demeanor radiated authority. "Who gave you that courage?" He seriously warned them, "Fighting monsters isn't a game. If you're not careful, you'll lose your life." Every word carried concern. Everyone must be responsible for their teammates, must live through entering and leaving the battlefield. "Understood," the whole group shouted in unison. "Yes, Captain Quan." Temporarily satisfied with their attitude, I've said what needed to be said. After all, this is only your second mission, and the overall performance is acceptable. He lit a cigarette. "With your current strength, you're enough to handle 4-star monsters. What I'm about to say next is military secret, and no one is allowed to leak it." Quan Duc took a slow drag and exhaled. "Yesterday, your nation's base was destroyed by a monster stronger than a 10-star military-level monster. During the battle, the government quickly raised the threat level to 11 stars, defining this as an apocalypse level." Tongvan's eyes widened in shock. "A threat level like that, Bang Luan, I can't believe it. This is the first time I've heard of a monster at this level." Quan Duc detailed the event. Your country lost over 17,000 evolved people overnight. In the end, the government had to use tactical nuclear weapons to barely push back the monster flood. His expression grew grimmer. "According to the intelligence I received, no monster corpses were found in the rubble. The government's combat report only stated that..." He raised his voice to emphasize suspicion about the monsters being pushed back. Everyone was stunned. Dongvan's mind raced. Even with tactical nuclear weapons, they couldn't completely eliminate the monsters. Quan Duc answered the question. "Due to this event, all 17 apocalypse gates experienced various degrees of shock. Along with the spreading spatial tide, the threat from the apocalypse will far exceed expectations in the next 10 days. Blood though, with your current strength, it will be very difficult to deal with the monster invasion after they're enhanced." Nuok Na realized the urgency and asked, "Captain, so what do we need to do to increase our strength? Is there a special training program?" He immediately picked up a crystal from the box at his feet and said, "Time is urgent, so the Special Operations Bureau has issued another batch of spirit energy crystals. Everyone probably understands what this means, right?" Fan Hao's eyes lit up, sensing the scent of profit. "It will multiply the speed of ability evolution." Quan Duke announced the good news: you've been approved to use spirit energy crystals to support your evolution. He hurriedly, unable to wait, handed them out to the others. Quan Duke added the condition that all members must break through to 4-star level within 10 days. All of this is for the future of humanity. Everyone's faces lit up with excitement, confidently promising, "Captain, we definitely won't let you down for the future of humanity." Elsewhere, Transo sat alone on a cliff. Checking his own status board, he quietly calculated that based on the hunting rate of the divine Kilin sword in the North Sea fishing zone, it wouldn't take more than a few days to meet the requirements for the 4th evolution. He leisurely admired the scenery and waited next, focusing only on Tian Tian's evolution process. Tian Tian's expression was shocked, a tear of fear gathering in her eye socket. She was in her own dreamscape, 3 black tornado columns constantly moving, giving a sense of danger. They gradually merged into a dark dragon, its mouth wide open, red inside, full of sharp teeth wanting to devour her. Tian Tian trembled, stepping back, shouting, "Don't come here." The scene shifted to a strange room. She suddenly sat up from bed in panic and shouted loudly, "Don't come here." At this moment, Tian Tian was naked, covered only by a thin blanket, clearly outlining her delicate curves. She breathed weakly, cold sweat soaking her. Transo sat not far away, casually asking, "How does it feel?" Tian Tian was still shaken from the terrible nightmare. The senior asked, "How does it feel?" He didn't wait for an answer and threw a cup toward her. She instinctively caught it. The cup shattered instantly from the force shards cutting through her fingers. Tran so calmly stood up and reminded, "That's the feeling of becoming an evolved person." She looked confused, holding the broken pieces. "Ah, what happened?" Seeing her adorable expression, he smiled and explained, "You've evolved 1 star with a punch force of 500 kilo and speed up to 15 mila s. Congratulations on your successful evolution." Her mood naturally lifted, feeling like she was hallucinating. "I feel so powerful. I really have become an evolved person."